So, wow, some folks really, really care about Asian attraction here. Give yourself a round of applause. Yes. First and foremost, give yourself a round of applause. Number one, because you showed up, right? And that's incredible that you showed up, like we talked about at the first part of the session. So I'm glad y'all still have steam. Y'all still have gas. Everybody got something to eat. Everybody's all right. Everybody got something to eat.
Let's go.
All right, good. It's time to go to work. What's up?
Is there any seats available for people standing in
There are no seats.
Okay.
If you have a seat open next to you, raise your hand. Yeah. So, yeah. So, love it. Let's kick this off. I want to be respectful. Now, what I will say, if you're standing in the back, okay, and you know, this is going to go an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and it's very, very intensive training that we're going to do. That said, it may be uncomfortable to be standing the whole time, right? And I appreciate you all coming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a strategy session tomorrow where I'm going to teach this same thing, but I'll do it virtually because I want to make sure that everybody gets this good stuff that we're going to be talking about today. Is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, so what I want to do is, what's going to be the best way to do this? Send me a, do I want to do this? Yes, okay. Send me a workplace chat or a Slack. Send me a workplace chat or a Slack. By the way, all the cool kids are over on Slack now. I don't know if y'all knew that. So all the cool kids are on Slack. But if you're still in workplace, that's fine. Hit me on workplace, hit me on Slack, and then I'll make sure that you get into the strategy session. We're doing it tomorrow. Let me give you the time. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. I'll make sure you get the link for it. We'll do it on Zoom. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is Magnetic Agent Attraction. This is what we're going to talk about. This has been blowing up revenue share organizations like Terry's, like others all across the country. I don't brag. I don't boast like this is my thing. I just happen to have the unique opportunity to be the vice president of growth for EXP, which means that I have the incredible opportunity of interviewing all of our top level influencers, all the alphas, all the betas. I work with them, talk with them on a day-to-day basis. I'm able to see what they do. I'm also on calls with Leo, and I'm on calls with all these incredible people that are much far and beyond myself, to include Glenn, to include the Amy Weaver, and everybody that I get the incredible opportunity to work with, whether it's agent leadership or executive leadership. And I'm like a sponge. I don't know. Raise your hand if you're a sponge. You just like soak stuck. Y'all are my people. So I'm not good at anything except being a sponge. So what I do is I soak up all that content, all that good stuff that our top folks are doing, and then I come and I squeeze it out, right? And I get to share all of that with you. So that's what this presentation is today. My promise to you, though, is that this will be the best class on agent attraction that you've ever attended. Or it will be the worst class on agent attraction that you've ever seen, or realistically maybe somewhere in the middle, right? That is my promise. That much I can promise you, though. It will be the best, the worst, or somewhere in the middle. I'll try to do it my best. Agent-wise, let's see show of hands. Who here is with EXP already? Okay, the rest of you are in the process of joining EXP. Great, wonderful. So this is going to save me a lot of time because I don't need to pitch to you about what revenue share is, what the model is about, and why revenue share is important. I'll touch base because we have a couple of people that didn't raise their hands, so just in terms of what it is. A little bit about me. For those of you all that don't know me, don't know my history, I've been in real estate for about 20 years now, and my story begins in the Marine Corps. I had the honor and pleasure of serving as a United States Marine. Yeah, I appreciate we got some Marines in the house. Oh, yeah, so wonderful. It was my honor, my pleasure. I actually had the unfortunate incidents, though, of getting hit by a roadside bomb. This was the Humvee that I was in. I was in the front seat here. And that was the end of my military career. So I got a Purple Heart, which was cool, but it was on, oh, you're kind, y'all are kind. But it was on my way out the door. They were like, hey, thank you for your service. Here's a Purple Heart, and, there you are, right? So there's the door. So that's how that goes. While I was in recovery, though, while I was, I had soft tissue brain damage and the whole thing. I had to learn how to, walk again, concentrate again, like, all that kind of stuff, vertigo, crazy. And while I was in the recovery process, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Any Rich Dad, Poor Dad fans? Right, love it. Yes. So that was a game changer for me while I was sitting in recovery and had nothing else to do. I read that book, and it set me on a career trajectory for entrepreneurship and for real estate in particular. So got back from my deployment. I spent my deployment money on my first couple of investment properties. I became a flipper and wholesaler and all that fun stuff, right? So it was me and my business partner at the time when we were out sticking out bandit signs and all this kind of stuff. And this was one of the first lessons I had, is that you can't do it all alone. You can't do it by yourself. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together, right? Y'all have heard that. So I started as an investor, and I quickly realized, man, like if I really want to take advantage of the investment side of the house, I quickly realized, man, I'm giving up 6% of my profit to agents. And who the heck wants to pay agent commissions, right? Nobody wants to pay agent commissions. So got my real estate license just to help save my own skin and save my own profit margin on my investment properties. And very quickly, I became one of the top producing agents at the small boutique brokerage I was at, the number one agent there, and I was making more money on the agency side than I was on the investment side, right? Plus, I didn't have to worry about hard money lenders like breaking my kneecaps and stuff because I'm, late on the interest payments and stuff. So I said, hey man, I'm gonna go all in. Somebody hit the button. So what I did was I decided, okay, I'm going to go all in on this real estate thing, okay? So, and when I decided to do that, what do you want to do at that point, right? You have to join a big brand, right? You got to have a brand. You need a brand. At least that's what I thought at that point. So I hopped on the big balloon for a little while and quickly shot up. Became, I was rookie of the year over there, then became number 2 agent in Frisco, right? Actually, right here in Frisco. So that said, but I hit a ceiling though, right? What are y'all doing with these lights, man? It's all good. It's not distracting at all. Again, not distracting. So, yeah, long story short, yada, 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 top producing agent, team leader, broker, owner, opened my own brokerage as well. That was rather short-lived. I realized that wasn't for me. But when I did that, I actually had my previous brokerage at Redfin reach out to me and said they wanted me to run the state of Texas, right, and run the brokerage at Redfin. So I did that. And then from there, we grew that brokerage from about 200 agents when I took over, or when I was there, from about 200 agents to about 700 agents before somebody reached out and told me about a little company called EXP on LinkedIn, which, by the way, we're going to talk about that strategy. So from there, became designated broker at EXP here in Texas. And when I came here, we had about 6,000 agents, just over 6,000. And then we had just under a hair of 10,000 agents within that sort of 3-year window that I was broker in charge. So the leadership team, right, we experienced growth like we had never seen in the state of Texas. And somebody somewhere somehow started passing my name around as part of the reason why the success was so incredible and the growth was so incredible. Our executive team reached out to me and they said, hey, how about you just do growth, right? And I was like, you mean I can do growth and not have to worry about the lawsuits and the Trek complaints and yeah, right. Y'all know. So I was like, heck yeah. So at that point, our leadership team promoted me to director of growth and now vice president of U.S. growth is where I currently sit. Yada, yada. I've done a lot of stuff, right? Ultimately, who cares? The point is I have some perspective. Is that fair? I've got some perspective from every level and dealing with agents, and I've dedicated the rest of my life and my career to helping agents be successful, to helping agents get from where they are now to where they want to be in their real estate career. And the best way to do that, the best model for that is EXP Realty, right? So why recruit, why attract? It is, which we heard a little bit earlier about the transaction treadmill, right? What do we call that? Transaction treadmill we call time for money. This is the I'll do it myself mentality. This is like I'm going to do everything myself. But guess what? If 100% of your income, I learned this from Brian Crothers, 100% of your income is based on 100% of your effort, that means that you have 100% risk, right? Now, is this a good market to mitigate some risk, would you say, right? Because as the market slows down, would you rather be getting paid on the benefit of only what you can do, or would you rather have an organization of people that are all contributing towards your income? Don't answer that, right? It's a rhetorical question. So here we are, more time. more money, more impact. That is what this is all about. Really, those are the only three problems, by the way, that an agent has in their real estate business. Either they need more money, they need more time, or they need to make a bigger impact. Those are the three holes in most agents' heart, and these are the things that you want to speak to them about. And we're going to talk about how to get to those hot points, to those hot buttons. Almost everybody raised their hand when I asked about Robert Kiyosaki, so I don't need to spend too much time here. But we have the cash flow quadrant here, ESBI. I'll touch it just a moment for the folks that are new or maybe haven't heard of this. Right, you have Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. The idea is that you want to move between all of these. Most people start out in the employee, they have a job, then they move to self-employed, business owner, and ultimately investor, where your money works for you. That is the cash flow quadrant. EXP, by the way, is the only one that allows you to get paid in pretty much all the sectors if you're interested in it, but certainly on the right side is where we operate. But most agents get stuck here, right? So that's what we talk about. This is how we free agents from this. However, 90% of agents, actually it's more than 90% when you look at all brokerages, because most brokerages don't even have rev share as a part of their model, right? But even here at EXP, only about 15% of the agents actually get to generate income through revenue share, okay? But for the industry at large, 90+% agents get no rev share, which is just, it's mind-boggling to us, okay? But this is the reason why this is important as we talk about agent attraction. It is because your prospects or the people that you're talking with about EXP know nothing about rev share. Like the vast majority of them. So you always want to meet your prospect where they are, meet them at their current mindset. In the most cases, they're walking around thinking about, right, one of those big three problems. I need more money, I need more time freedom, or I need to make an impact. Okay, that's what they're walking around thinking. In most cases, that's in the form of more transactions. That's the only way that they think, because they're thinking in this S quadrant, right? They're thinking the only way for me to make more money is to sell more houses. So that's who you want to speak to. You want to speak to them at the level that they currently live, which is, hey, what if I could show you a way to sell 5 more houses next year? Would you be interested, right? So that's an example. So why don't agents do revenue share? Why is it that agents are afraid or don't want to do revenue share? I blame this guy, right? So nobody wants to be this guy, right? And we can almost smell this guy's cologne. You can see him. He's got the heart glasses, the whole thing. This is like when you think recruiter, this is the guy you think of, right? Who wants to be this guy? Raise your hand. Right. You guys stop at the Halloween shop and like do the thing. So no one wants to be a recruiter, right? So, and this is what most people think about. But what I encourage agents to do is to go into the matrix, right? Let's go into the matrix, and I encourage agents to have what I call a Morpheus mindset. That the other guy, he's talking to you about, he's EXPing all over you, right? Or EX pooping on some people. He's vomiting all the benefit and all the cool stuff he thinks about EXP all over you, but never stopping to listen. And he has a heavy breath and sweaty palm and like that whole thing. He's sweating when he talks to you, the whole thing. Morpheus, on the other hand, when you have the Morpheus mindset, really what your objective is, it detaches your presentation of the model that you're offering to them from the result. So you might want to start that with your notes as well. So you want to detach your offer from the result. When I'm talking to someone about EXP, and maybe it's because I'm in a staff role and it's great, but our top level influencers do the same. They don't really care if that person joins or not. At least that's the presentation they put on, right? Morpheus doesn't care. What he cares about is just sharing, hey, red pill, blue pill. What do you want to do, man? Seriously, I mean, you want red pill, blue pill. You can go this way, and this is what you're going to get, or you can go that way, and that's what you're going to get. I'm still Morpheus. I'm still going to do my thing. The matrix is the matrix. So when you change your mindset and really start thinking through what you I sweat like a Baptist preacher sometimes, so y'all forgive me. I promise I'm not nervous, but it's hot in here. Yeah. It is hot, right? Okay, I'm not the only one. Good. Like I said, Baptist preacher. So anyways, that said, Morpheus mindset. So this is what we're going to talk about today. This is the simple means of agent attraction. So y'all know, as I've just mentioned, as a part of my story, okay, I have brain damage, right? My wife is around here somewhere. She will attest to the fact that every now and again my brain damage seeps through. So I got to keep things real simple. So that's what I've done in the form of our agent attraction training here. So let me do this. And I'm going to share this with you all. Hopefully it works. This is the first time for this. And it's working. Beautiful. All right. So as we're looking at this, and what I want to start with, it's time to get tactical. So when we get tactical, I want to start with the resources that you're going to need in your agent attraction efforts, starting with resources. So the first thing is an accountability partner. This is the most important piece. If you get up and leave, if your feet are getting tired standing in the back, like nothing else, get this. This in and of itself will increase your agent attraction efforts by probably 90%. There's been studies on this on different industries, whether it's fitness, whether it's whatever. If you have someone to help hold you accountable, you are 90% more likely to hit that goal, okay? So, and again, this is a boot camp. So I want you to write down into your notebook or to whatever you're taking notes on right now, who is going to be your accountability partner? Who's going to be the person that you have to help hold you accountable and responsible for what you said that you were going to do? Are you willing to be, she's willing to be everybody's accountability partner. That's why she's standing up. So, yes. And pick an accountability partner, that person to help hold you accountable and to come and run alongside you. The EXP University website, okay? The EXP raise your hand if you've been to the EXP University website. Don't lie, because I'm going to ask you for the link. And a lot of you have. See, everybody put their hand down. Oh, y'all are fun. All right, so expuniversity.com. Go to expuniversity.com, or you can... Well, yeah, just go to expuniversity.com. I'm not going to pull it up here, okay? So on that website, okay, and I want you to bookmark this because this is so important. We are going to build out today a value vault, okay? A value vault. And in that value vault, this is going to be everything that you need to share with an agent that's walking around with that, hey, I need more money, I need more time, I need to make an impact, right? With those three needs, those basic agent needs that they have, we're going to share with you everything you need. Brian Ellington has built that stuff out. So on the EXP University website, there's two spots, right? There's at the very top right, you see a little magnifying glass, or at the bottom, you see search courses, okay? You can click on that and just go to the search engine and type in whatever you want, okay? Brian has done an incredible job of congregating all of the incredible training from all of our incredible influencers, attractors, producers. We sell more houses than anybody on the planet, y'all. And we compensate our agents to come back and teach this stuff through the ICON program. So, we have all of those trainings that those agents have done from the people that are still doing it. It's not me. Yes, I sold a ton of houses years and years ago, but we hear from agents that are doing it right now, that they're doing 100, 200, like Suman Kim and like all these other agents, it's Tina Calls and all the folks that you've been hearing from. We have their classes and we have them on EXP University. So from an agent attraction standpoint, these are shareables, as we call them, that you're going to be able to share with non-EXP agents to help them grow their business and to help them close more real estate sales. Because guess what? The idea is to cross what we call the value tipping point. The value tipping point is that ratio, once you cross this threshold where now you are the most valuable voice of real estate in their ear. You are more valuable than their broker. You're more valuable than their team leader. You're more valuable than anyone else talking real estate. The people they're subscribed to online, their coaches that they kind of steal stuff from, all that stuff. You become the most valuable real estate resource that cares the most about their real estate business, okay? So you do that on the EXP University site. Go to search, you type in Facebook, you can type in farming, you can type in whatever you want, right, related to production or otherwise, and you're going to get social media playbooks. We've got them all, okay? So that's really key. The MyEXP app. Does everyone have the MyEXP app downloaded on their phone? Raise your hand if you have the MyEXP app downloaded. Great, everyone does. If you don't, a lot of people, some people did not, okay, get it from the App Store. You need that. This is key, this is critical, it's a part of the boot camp. You're going to need it, all right? So matter of fact, if you don't, do that now. Go to the App Store, type in MyEXP and download that now, because what we're talking about today includes some of that. The growth website, okay? We heard Terry talk about earlier. What she said is that, you know, a big part of this boot camp, a big part of this training is just learning what we have. We have so many tools, so many resources, myself included as the VP of growth for US, like that we have so many tools and resources that most folks don't know about. So that said, you can start at the growth website. It is exprealty.com/growth. exprealty.com/growth. Now remember, we talked about how to take notes, okay? So remember, on your notepad, you've got like things that you just, oh, that's good, I like the way he said that, and whatever, all the sort of pins that I was hitting Chris with, right, on one side. And then on the other side, we have action items, okay? So everything I'm talking about now goes in the action item column if you have not done it already. So the growth website, exprealty.com/growth. On that website, you can see everything that the growth team can do to help support you. You can book a call with one of us to help close your prospect right there on that site. You can sign up for Fast Track. Who here is in Fast Track? Do we have any Fast Track? Love it. What do y'all think about Fast Track so far?
Awesome.
Love it. So that's incredible. So who here has heard of Fast Cap? Who here has heard of Fast Cap? Okay. So, and they love Fast Cap. Okay, so what we've done, and this was a conversation that I had with Brian Ellington, our Chief Learning Officer, because of the incredible success story that Fast Cap has had, right? We have agents going in with 0 transactions coming out on average. If you just do what they ask you to do in Fast Cap, the average agent comes out with 3.8 signed contracts. Right? That's it's literally a production machine. Okay, doesn't exist anywhere else in real estate. So first and foremost, remember that statistic and share that. But the other thing is, I was at one of our executive meetings and I said, hey Brian, that Fast Cap thing is freaking crushing it, man. What if? And for those of you who don't know what Fast Cap is, it is an intensive 6-week plan, 6-week program where you meet 3 times a week. And you go deep into the different side, like how to actually sell, right? It's an incredible program. And again, we talked about the results. So I said, hey, Brian, what if we did the same thing for agent attraction? What if we had a 6-week intensive course where we meet 3 times a week, talk about the daily habits, and only focuses on 2 things, just like Fast Cap. Focuses on accountability and daily habits, right? Daily habits and accountability. So I said, hey, what if we did the same thing for agent attraction? He's like, yeah, sounds good, right? And we pitched it to Leo. Leo said, how much is it going to cost, right? Because that's y'all saw Leo, like that's how he is. How much is it going to cost? So we did the whole thing, and he said, yeah, go for it, right? And now it is quickly becoming probably one of the biggest things we've ever done at EXP. So that said, if you have people in your organization now, or if you haven't been to Fast Attract, you need to be in the next cohort. It's going to be incredible. Go to the growth website and sign up for the next course. We also have on that same site, again, you can book a calendar meeting with us, and probably one of the most important things, which I'll talk about today, is the Agent Attraction Toolkit. Has everyone seen, raise your hand if you've seen the Agent Attraction Toolkit. Okay, a few. Not nearly as many as need to, right? So we're going to spend some time today talking about that, but that is effectively a brain dump of myself. It's probably like 80% or so, a brain dump of like everything that I know and that the growth team knows about agent attraction and the tools and the resources that we use on a day-to-day basis, right? So you've got videos from Russ Lagan on there, you've got Amy Weaver on there, like the whole growth team just did like a brain dump of everything that we use on a day-to-day basis, the tools, resources, slide decks, links, all that stuff is on there. So we dumped it on there, and now we're giving it to you so that you can use it in your agent attraction process. So that's key. Google Calendar. Okay, so this is super key, right? This is, as I guess, this is a boot camp, remember. So what we're going to do, I want you to take out your phone or your calendar, whatever you use. If you write, you can write. I recommend Google Calendar, again, because I've surveyed pretty much every influencer that has more than like 200 people in their org, almost all of them, and some other folks did too. But that said, almost all of them are using some sort of digital calendar, in most cases Google Calendar, so I recommend that one, right? Like success leaves clues. So use your calendar. Block time right now that you are going to work on the agent attraction side of your business. If you do not block it, if you do not put it in your calendar right now, you will not do it. This will be another thing that was a great thought and that you were going to do and that it was going to be awesome, okay? And then this time next year, nothing will change for you, right? But because this audience is the audience that shows up, right? This is Dallas. Y'all show up and y'all actually take action like we talked about before. So what I want you to do is put your time in there. Once you have put your time that you are going to focus on the revenue share side of your business, it can be somewhere, I recommend at minimum 2 hours a week, right? Minimum 2 hours a week. But block that time right now. Raise your hand once you block that time. I'm gonna wait. This is the first thing. Once you block that time, whether it's on your Google Calendar or whether it is on your actual written calendar. Okay. Yeah, all right, good. I see people popping up, little popcorn kernels. I love it. I love it. Yes, shoot. exprealty.com/growth. Whatever. I don't know how successful you want to be, right? But if no, and I say that partially tongue in cheek, but the reality is, if someone looks at your calendar, would that person say, "Wow, yeah, this person's going to make it. This person is going to freaking be amazing in agent attraction." Okay, so your calendar should reflect your ambition. That was good. Did you get that? Your calendar should reflect your ambition. So make sure that There you go. But minimum 2 hours a week. Okay. And again, this is me surveying our best of the best. Because guess what? You're still in production. That's fine, right? Maybe you can't do this full time yet, and that's okay. But reserve that time, block it off. Okay. One more time. Raise your hand if you have blocked that time in your calendar. Look at that. Yes. Listen, y'all are gonna be amazing. All right. ChatGPT. Okay. Is everyone using ChatGPT, either a Plus or a Pro account? Oh my gosh, y'all are oh awesome. Y'all must have been listening to Leo Robles and your stuff yesterday. So yes, ChatGPT. Now I'm gonna give you something, and this is gonna be cute. And I know that Leo Robles talked about a different AI that will allow you to like help out with your prompts and things like that. This is what I recommend. Okay, so I first off recommend the Plus account at least, right? $20 a month. You can afford it. If not, borrow it. Okay, so get it, right? Because number one, the memory. I can go on and on, but like there's a bunch of different reasons why you should just pay the $20, and I promise it's worth it. Trust me. Craft AI. This is the best framework that I have found for prompting. Garbage in, garbage out. When it comes to prompting, that's where a lot of agents struggle. They go in and just put some random question, and then AI spits out something random, and it's like kind of usable, but not really. And then they just sort of, oh yeah, I'll come back to that later. And then raise your hand if you've had that occurrence with ChatGPT, right? You just like ask a question, and then it's like, okay, maybe I'll use it, but yeah, not really. So craft AI. When you craft a better prompt, you will get a better result. So C is for context. C is for context. Now, this is for when you want the perfect prompt to be able to execute on. C is for context. The more context you can give it, tell it who you are, tell it what's going on, tell it the desire that you have and kind of what you're up against, okay? Also, R is, so that's going to be the role. What role do you want ChatGPT to play? So you may tell it, hey, I want you to act like or take the role of a marketing executive with 20 years experience in direct response marketing, to the tune of a Jay Abraham or Dan Kennedy or Dan Sullivan, like one of these incredible copywriting people. Okay, give it that much detail of a role that you want it to play, and it will. Right? It will search. It will scour the internet, right, and find that stuff. Oh, by the way, you should be using O3 and not GPT-4. Use O3 at least for now. We know it changes like day to day, but right now O3, and I say that because it's the stronger reasoning model. Okay. A is for the action. Tell it the action that you wanted to take or your ask. What are you asking ChatGPT to do for you? It doesn't have to be GPT, by the way. This is just that's the colloquial, I guess. But whatever AI you prefer, Claude, Perplexity, whatever your thing is. F is for your format. What format do you want it to spit this out in? Okay, be specific. Okay, remember, you're dealing with a dumb computer. Okay, even though ChatGPT has all the information in the world, it's still a dumb computer. Input, output. So F is for the format. Hey, I want this to be a spreadsheet. I want this to be a if it's not a spreadsheet, I want it to be spitted out in a PDF, or I want it to be on a Word document. I want it to be on this or on that. Okay, so that's it. It is that's F. The T is for the tone, right? What is the tonality that you want it to take? What's the tone? Now, what do I mean by tone? The tone is, and this is also where you can give it examples. So you can say, I want a professional yet friendly tone, right? I want it to be, hey, sprinkle a few cuss words in there. I don't know if it cuss. I never asked it. But like, give it the tonality that you want. I want it to be very personable, but also not offensive, okay? So whatever that looks like, that's what you want to do. And then this is a great area as well for the tonality to upload some examples, okay? So you can upload examples of different copy that you've seen, take screenshots, say, hey, I want it to look like this. I want it to have this kind of feel. I want it to have, if you're asking for a photo, hey, I want it to be the same styling as this photo, that sort of thing. And then AI, okay? AI, the A is going to be for the audience. The audience, you're going to tell it, hey, who is this going to? This is going to go to real estate agents that have done, 6 to 10 transactions last year. Be very, very specific on who the audience is. Otherwise, if you say, hey, this is just going to real estate agents, or what's worse is if you make it assume who it's going to. But no, be specific. I specifically want to talk to agents in the DFW area that have done 6 to 12 transactions over the last, 12 months or whatever it is, okay? And then I is going to be for the intent. What is the intention? What do you want to have happen as a result of this prompt that you put in? Okay, so you're going to say, hey, this is the exact audience is going to, this is the action I want this to follow after. This is the intention. So my intention may be, I want people to reach out to me. I want people to call me. I want people to book on my calendar like we learned about earlier today. Okay, whatever that ultimate result that you want to have occur, that's going to be your I. And then finally, question mark. Now this one is big. I only do this one when I have time. Okay, like if you have some time on your hands, I recommend you do this. Before you just hit send, okay, what you want to do is then ask ChatGPT, say, hey, before you give me a response, ask me 5 questions about this prompt so that you give me the very best result possible, okay? It's going to cost you maybe another 2 or 3 minutes, but I promise it's going to be worth it, because what's going to happen is, and by the way, if you want to shortcut that time even, tell it to give you 5 multiple choice questions before giving you the answer, right? That's something else I've done. So give me 5 multiple choice questions before you answer, just so that you can give me the best result possible. It's going to, boom, spit out 5 clarifying questions, A, B, C, or D, 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 A, B, B, boom, send it off. Now you have an incredible prompt that is custom and unique to you, not the same. It doesn't feel like AI, doesn't sound like AI, and for all intents and purposes, it's not AI, right? Because you've been so ultra specific that no one else is going to sound like that. Is that helpful for AI? Prompting. Great. Oh. Building an Empire. Okay, so this is the book. We're still on resources, by the way. Raise your hand if you've read the book Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. All right, not enough. Okay, so Brian Carruthers, he is an absolute rock star when it comes to network marketing, when it comes to attraction of people. He's personally, for his business opportunity, recruited more than 5,000 FLAs, if you will, right? 5,000 people to his business opportunity. At one point, he was like one of the largest shareholders in EXP. He's a former real estate agent. Now he's off doing network marketing stuff, but he's an absolutely incredible guy. And by the way, on that agent attraction toolkit, he and Leo there's a script practice with him and Leo. And they're sort of sitting through and talking through objection handlers and things like that. So incredible guy, great friend of EXP, and incredible when it comes to attracting people. I recommend that you get that book. So this is on the right column, right, of your notes. Okay, get Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. Whether it is on the audio, they got the Audible, they've got the Kindle, or the paperback, whatever you're into, you can get it. Okay. HubSpot. All right. So you need a CRM. Okay, I recommend a CRM system of some kind. It can be a spreadsheet if you want. We're going to show a little bit about that. It can be, if you're already using KV Core or Sisu as a recruiting instance. By the way, if you sign up for Fast Attract, you get the recruiting instance of Sisu for free $99. Right? There's a separate recruiting instance of Sisu that you get with Fast Attract, okay? So, but I recommend having some sort of CRM to keep yourself standardized and to help yourself to be consistent with your agent attraction efforts. Sisu, again, as you see there. So you get that with the attraction bootcamp, all right? So that is that. Those are the resources. So now let's talk about attractor archetypes. So one of the things that we've noticed, that I've noticed in the executive team, so one of the things that we notice is that there tends to be a few recurring themes for our top level influencers. Okay, there's a few recurring themes for people that are crushing in agent attraction, whether that's the alpha group and the beta group and people that have 200 or in case 1,000 plus people in their organization. And that's what we're going to spend our time talking about today. You're going to be able to identify which one sounds or feels most like you, okay? And then we're going to be able to speak to each one of those agent attractor archetypes as we go deeper into it, okay? So you coming out of this, you know exactly what your agent attractor archetype is, as well as the top tools, resources, and strategies to deploy. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, I love it. So the first one is the producer, okay? So we got producer, we've got promoter, okay, we have influencer, we have coach, and connector. You can write those down. I'll repeat. So, producer, promoter, influencer, coach, and connector. And we'll spend the most time talking about connector because, by the way, you've got to be a connector to make any of the other ones work, okay? So generally, you want 2 feet on the ground, right? You want 1 foot on the connector and then whatever your other one is, right? If you're still in production and you want to have a production focus, that's great. Those are folks that are focused on production and they use their sales as a means by which to grow their agent attraction efforts, okay? Those are going to be your producers. These are folks, and we'll go deep into it, but like that's the high level of what it is. Then you got your promoters. These these are your folks like your Brent Goves, your Gene Frederick, the people that like put on events like this, right? And they focus on using events to leverage and to use those events and promoting people to get to events and letting those events do the heavy lifting. Okay, so those are your promoters. Then you have influencers. These are your Mike Sherrards and your Google Beth Keys and like your social media influencers that use social in order to grow the agent attraction side of their business. Then you got your coach. We got a ton of great coaches at EXP. You probably met like several of them, and a lot of folks will use coaching, right, to use in order to fill up their funnel with incredible agents that they want to partner with in the future. So we'll talk about the coaching model and how that works, and then finally, again, the connector. So that's where it brings it all together. You got to be a great connector to make any of the other ones work. All right. So we'll start with the producer. So what do we call a producer? Again, the producer is someone that has used production and they're very strong with their production. All right. They've reached the top of the mountain. Now they're looking out and sort of saying how they can leverage that. These are going to be folks that are 6 to 10 plus deals a year. Okay, I know you might be thinking like that's not like a huge producer. It doesn't got to be. I got you back. Don't worry about it, right? But effectively, we're talking about a capper, right? 6 to 10 deals, like you're a capper at EXP typically, and then plus, right? Obviously, the plus is for icons, right? You can do in 30 deals, 100 deals, whatever that looks like. So there's no limit on that. But these folks are really, really incredible. And by the way, who's on the other side of those 6 to 10 to 30, 20, 30 transactions a year? Who's on the other side of those deals? Other non-EXP agents, right? Statistically, almost all of them are non-EXP agents, okay? So that's what the producer framework is about. We're going to talk about how to make that work and how to leverage what you already got, which is a successful real estate business. How do you leverage that into agent attraction, okay? So raise your hand right now if you buy a closing gift for your clients. Look at there. I love it. I love it. Now raise your other hand. Leave your hands up. Y'all lazy. Leave your hands up. All right. All right. Okay. So all these people buy closing gifts. Raise your other hand or leave your hand up. Let's do that. Leave your hand up if you also buy a closing gift for the agent on the other side of the deal. I love it. I love it. Yes. See, and success leaves clues. So I want you to take this, put this in your notes. Okay. Yes, you can put your hand down. Yes. So I want you to do this. Okay. Put this on the right side. Going forward, you are going to buy a closing gift for every agent on the other side of the deals that you're working on, okay? This is what you're going to do. You're going to call them you call that agent on the day of closing, and the script, and I don't do scripts, I do more like frameworks, okay? So I'm going to give you the framework that you sort of talk through and that you're thinking about because the words need to sound like you. So you write this down in whatever sounds like you, okay? But the conversation is very simply, hey, Johnny, and by the way, why call them on the day of closing? Because everybody's happy. That's payday, baby. That's payday. Everybody's happy on closing day, right? Everybody's happy. So, and you forgot about all that fighting you were doing and like all the back and forth. Like it's a happy day. So you're going to call them on closing day and you're going to say, hey, Johnny, it was awesome doing business with you, man. Hey, I know we had that hiccup there during the inspection period and the option period and all that, but we got over it. Financing went great. I think that you're incredible. The way you do business is awesome. Listen, you know as well as I do, man, this is a networking business. This business is based on relationships. So one of the things that I do, I always buy a closing gift, not only for my client, but also for the agent on the other side of the deal, okay? So I got your closing gift right here. When can we link up so I can give it to you? How's next week sound? Boom, right? So, and who's going to turn down the closing gift? Nobody, right? And I see some people like, oh, well, what do I buy? And don't worry about it. I got you. I'll skip to the end. Very simply, right? You're going to meet someone for coffee at Starbucks. You're going to show up 15 minutes early, walk your little self up to the front desk. You're going to grab one of those Starbucks cards, right? Grab one of the Starbucks cards. You're going to write, hey, Johnny, it was awesome doing business with you, man. Great. Best of luck in 2025, right? That's it. Smiley face. Boom. Then you sit down and wait for Johnny to show up and you give Johnny's gift, right? Don't overthink it, right? It's not that hard, but it makes a big, big impact, right? The point is to get sitting down and start that relationship building process with Johnny, okay? So that's what we're going to do on every transaction going forward. We're going to set up that coffee meeting. We're going to do that closing gift. Now, every now and again, you may get an objection, okay? And that objection is going to be what? Anybody who's tried this has heard an objection, right? So some people have their hands up. What's one objection that you may hear when you offer someone a closing gift?
I'm really busy.
Too busy, maybe that's one, right? What'd you say? No, thank you, don't have time, right? And usually those objections come from a place of, I don't want to be pitched on EXP. Is that fair? right? Does EXP have a little bit of reputation, maybe sometimes? Like we've had some agents that have burned some bridges for us. Thank God. Yeah, we love challenges. So that said, when they say or if they say, man, I'm not joining EXP. Like I don't want to join. I don't want to hear it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not leaving my brokerage. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Johnny, listen, man. Did I say anything about EXP, brother? I did not, right? So look, it's a relationship thing, right? I told my coach, told my mentor, all right, his name's Tony King. He's amazing. You should meet him. But he said I have to grow my network, I have to grow my influence, have to grow my network, right? He said that my net worth was in my network. So I got to grow my network. That said, man, you cannot join EXP. Matter of fact, I'm going to call Karen when we get off the phone. She's our broker. She's amazing. I'm going to tell Karen, you are not allowed to join EXP. I will stand on a stack of Bibles and tell you, I promise you I won't bring up EXP, okay? You're not allowed to join, right? You're blacklisted. How's that? Cool. Now, can we link up so I can give you this closing gift, man? So that's the thing, right? So you want to de-escalate the situation. You want to have that and make it, make fun out of it, right? Have fun, okay? So that's what you want to do in that regard going forward, okay? So as we talk about this closing gift and things going forward, sometimes I get another great experience is to go back 24 months. No more than 24 months, because if you go back longer than that, it's like weird, right? But look, go to MLS, go to your MLS, pull up every agent that you've done business with in the last 24 months and have that same conversation. It's very, very similar. You're going to call that agent. Once you have your list, you're going to say, hey, Johnny. And by the way, when you call, because guess what? And why is this so effective for our producing agents? It's because you know that when you're under contract with an agent, that's someone that you know. Right? That's someone that you have some reasonable degree of trust and relationship with. You spend hours in many cases, add up all the time. You spend hours communicating with that agent. You know that they're in production, right? That's key, because you can recruit. I know folks that have recruited hundreds of people and none of them couldn't sell their way out of a paper bag. At other brokerages, like not at EXP. But you get the point, right? So it does you no good to recruit a bunch of agents that aren't selling, but you know that person's selling because you guys just did a deal together. So you know they're in production. They also have your number saved in their phone, right? Because we all do that. Once we get a deal under contract, we save that agent, 123 Main Street, right? Save it on their phone. We all do that, right? So they have you saved in their phone. It is a tailor-fit audience, right? And when you call, guess what they're going to do? They're going to answer, okay? So, by the way, when you call, the first thing you want to do for the agents in the last 24 months, when you call them, they're going to freak out and think that it's a lawsuit or some kind of thing, right? Because we hate getting that caller ID, like, oh, my God, we closed that. Like, what's going on, right? It's a disclosure issue. Immediately de-escalate that. Hey, Johnny, it's Tony from 123 Main Street, man. We did that deal together. First of all, it's not a lawsuit, no disclosure issues. Relax, okay? Listen, I'm actually calling you to apologize, brother. I'm calling you to apologize. Why? Because one of the things that I do, I always buy a closing gift, because this is a relationship business, it's networking business. I buy a closing gift for not only my client, but also for the agent on the other side of the deal. I was cleaning out my desk the other day, man, and I don't know what happened. I was busy. I was running. You know what it's like, man, running and gunning, selling houses. But for some reason, I looked down, I saw your card, I saw your gift, and I didn't give it to you. So I'm calling to apologize. When can I get this off my chest, off my conscience? When can we link up so I can give you this gift, man? You got to help me get this off my conscience. Can we link up next week? What do you think? How's your schedule look? Right? Very simple conversation, right? Now, as I said, don't go back past 24 months, because then it's like weird. Like, it's like, really, dude? Sorry, come on. So, but you can get away with 24 months, trust me. All right. Plus, and again, if it's more than 24 months, treat those as kind of cold prospects, right? Just cold people, start from scratch with some of the other strategies we're going to talk about today, okay? So, what do you do at that coffee meeting? Okay, so now you've had the conversation with them, very low key. You're going to have a coffee meeting with them. What happens at this coffee meeting? More importantly, what doesn't happen at the coffee meeting? This is where even the folks that take action, the people that I love, this is where they kind of go off the rails a little bit. So I'm going to ask you, because y'all are smart enough, because y'all are in this room, so I have a feeling y'all are going to get this right. But on the entire sea of topics and everything in the entire world, actually on the galaxy that you can talk about, you can talk about other planets. There's only one thing in the galaxy, in the universe, that you're not allowed to talk about at a coffee meeting with an agent. EXP. Yes, thank you. See, I knew y'all would get it. Y'all are sharp, okay? That is the only off-limit topic. Why? Number one, because you are a man, you're a woman of your word, and you told them that you weren't going to talk about EXP and there wasn't going to be a thing, right? You swore, right? So be honest, be a man, woman of your word. So don't talk about EXP, because I promise, in most cases, they've already heard it. So don't do that. This coffee meeting is about relationships. That's all it's about. It's about building a relationship, fostering a relationship with that agent. Okay. So what can you talk about when you're at your coffee meeting? What can you talk about? So pretty much everything else, right? As I said, probably stay away from politics. I wouldn't do that either. But anything else is on the books, okay? So no EXP talk. You want to forge a relationship with that agent. Forge a relationship. How do we forge a relationship? I use the FORGE method, FORGE. F is for their family. Okay, ask them about their family. Like, how long have you lived in this area? Is your family around here? Right, all that kind of stuff. You got kids, you got a wife, whatever it is. Talk to them about their family. O, their occupation, right? The job. How's work? How's business going? Okay, how are things going? So I see that you're north side of town. I usually only work south side, and just be a normal agent. Listen, if I get a client, is it okay if I send you a referral from? Because I don't like coming up that way typically. Is it okay if I send you something, or if I get something off market? Is it okay if I share it with you? Normal agent conversation. For some reason, agents lose their mind when it comes to agent attraction. They just start like vomiting EXP stuff all over people. Okay, don't do that. Like, just be a normal, cool agent. Okay. So ask them about the business. Ask them about the market. Man, it's taking these listings forever to sell. Have you what are you doing right now to sell your listings? All those sorts of things. R, recreation. What do you do for fun? Like, hey, when you're not selling houses, man, you're crushing it. But what else do you like? Do you like getting out on Lake Louisville, or do you like boating or fishing or whatever, right? What do they do for fun? G, their goal. So, hey, man, you've been in business 20 years. You think you got another 20 years in you? Or like, what's the plan? What's the goal? Where are you taking this thing? You want to start your own team, start your own brokerage, right? Are you looking to expand into other markets, other territories? You want to focus on niche markets, luxury or land and ranch, or like whatever? Like where are you trying to take this thing? Ask them what their goals are. And then finally, entice. Entice, right? I like the E because it's entice. So what is entice? When you're sitting down with an agent and now you're asking them all these questions about themselves, about their life, about their business, about how things are going, their family, all this stuff, they are going to ask you about EXP, or specifically probably just your business in general, okay? But when they say your business, we know they're talking about EXP, right? But they're going to ask you. Now, this is where a lot of agents struggle. Like, if you made it through the first phase and the second phase, now you're in the third phase where it's so tempting because they've asked you about your business. They've asked you about how things are going. They asked you how you're making it in this market and all that kind of stuff. And it's so tempting to, at that point, and EXP all over them, right? Or EX vomit all over them, okay? We don't want to do that. We just want to entice them, okay? We're just giving them a little. So I want you to write this down, okay? This goes on the left side. Now is not the time or place. Now is not the time or place. But, again, I don't have a lot of scripts, but this is, I guess you can consider this a script. So now is not the time or place, but if I would you. Now is not the time or place, but if I would you. That is one of the most powerful scripts in all of sales, okay? And almost all of our top folks do this, okay? So why is now not the time or place? Number one, because you promised them that you weren't going to talk about EXP, right? So again, we got to be a man, woman of your word. So, but it's not, and you just want to entice them enough to get that second call, to get that Zoom set up, to get that third-party call set up, whatever that looks like. Okay. So, hey, listen, now's not the time or place, but if I could show you a way to give you, and by the way, you've asked them all these questions, so you kind of set them up for this, because they've told you all of the things that they love about their existing business. They told you about all the things that they hate about their existing business. They told you about what they're struggling with. They told you they wish they had more time with their family. They told you about those 3 needs we talked about, okay? They've told us about all this stuff. So now you're putting all this stuff in your pocket, putting it in your pocket, ready to use it now. So when it comes to the entice, hey, now's not the time or place, but if I could show you a way to get more leads, right? Because you told me you need this, right? Without that bad thing, without having to pay a ton for it, would that be worth another meeting over a cup of coffee maybe, or over a Zoom sometime early next week? What do you think? If I could show you a way to get everything that you told me you want without the stuff that you don't want, would that be worth a 10 or 15-minute meeting maybe on Zoom or over another cup of coffee next week? What do you think? Right? Very, very low key, right? Very low pressure. And we already know, by the way, that it is, because they've already told us that these are the things they're struggling with and the things that they love the most about their business, okay? So I'm also going to give you a few frameworks here to work through. So I want you to write this. This is going to be on the left side. So this is a dialogue or a different sort of framework to think through for how to shift the conversation to EXP, right? And as we set these sort of coffee meetings, these at the coffee meeting, you're setting up your actual EXP explained conversation, which happens later. Okay, so that's another piece that a lot of agents struggle with. Is like, I'm great at. I had a call the other day with an agent. She's crushing it at having events. She's crushing it at turning the events into coffee meetings. And then she's like, where I struggle is after the coffee meeting, like I don't have like what happens next. Like, how do we turn the conversation to EXP? So that's what we're talking about now. And these 4 frameworks work great for that, right? Yes, no, number, curious. Yes, no, number, and curious. Those are 4 different frameworks to think through, and I'm going to show you when to use each one of them. Do I have it on here? I don't remember if I updated this. We already talked about those. Yep. All right. So, yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Cool. So, yes, the yes framework, when I'm talking to someone that's generally bubbly and they're positive and they're nodding and like, you know the type of people that are just like kind of naturally just like happy, like just naturally yes people, right? Those folks, you want to be like an attorney, and you only want to ask them questions that you already know the answer to, like an attorney does. So you're going to ask them a question you know they're going to say yes to, and I recommend the open-minded question, okay? And again, this is not for me. This is our top influencers across the country. So what they'll say is, hey, can I ask you a question? Always ask for permission, okay? Hey, can I ask you a question? Do you consider yourself to be an open-minded person? Right? So out of all the times that I've asked that question and I've heard that question asked, what do you think every single person, 100% of the time, says? Yes. No one's walking around, even negative people are like, no, I'm closed-minded, right? Right? No one's walking around closed-minded. So it's always a yes. And by the way, they're naturally leaning yes type of person. So I know they're going to say yes. So, hey, so would you consider yourself to be open-minded? Yes. Well, would you be open-minded to taking a look at an opportunity that would allow you to get X without Y, right? And the X and Y is their hot button, whatever they told you they want versus everything they told you that they don't want. Would that be worth a 15-minute meeting, maybe over a cup of coffee sometime next week? What do you think? Or maybe on a Zoom call, 10, 15 minutes. What do you think? How's next week look? So there's that. There's the yes framework. Now, the other side, you've got some scowlers, and you know who you are, if you are in here. Like, they have just a natural, just like grumpiness about them, right? Or you have the guy that's sitting there with his arms folded, right? And you have the folks that are kind of naturally no type people. No. So I'm going to ask you a question that's going to force you to say no, because I know you're a no person, right? You're a grump. This gets them every time. So this is great when people say, I'm not interested in EXP. I'm never coming to EXP. No. Right? Those kind of people, okay, they want to say no. I'm going to let you say no. Right? So this is the max potential question. This is, hey, do you mind if I ask you a question? Do you feel like you've hit your max potential as a blank, right? Do you feel like you've hit your max potential as an agent? Do you feel like you've hit your max potential as a broker, as a team leader, as a whatever it is that you are? Do you feel like you've hit your max potential? Now, again, out of every time I've ever asked that question or heard that question asked, what is the answer 100% of the time? No. I don't care who you talk to, whether it's, LeBron James, like I don't care who you talk to. If you ask them, have you hit your max potential? Answer's always no. Okay, great. And this is the most beautiful question, by the way, in all of sales. Okay, comes right after that. Okay. Can anybody guess what that question is? So you ask them, you say, hey, have you hit your max potential? They say no. What's your follow-up question? Yes, y'all don't need me up here. Y'all should come teach this. Yes, that is the most beautiful question in all of sales. What you ask them is, why not? Have you hit your max potential? No? Well, why not? Then you take out your golden pen that writes in golden ink, and you write down every little word they say in gold. Why is it gold? Because this is exactly what you're going to use to set up your next meeting with them. So when they say they have not hit their max potential, they say it's because my split's too high. Well, it's because my broker doesn't give me any leads, or all my leads stink, or like whatever reason they think that they have not hit the next level. You turn around and say, well, hey, now's not the time or place, but if I could show you a way to get this, that, and the other thing so that you can hit that max level, okay, would that be worth maybe another meeting over a cup of coffee or maybe 15-minute Zoom? What do you think? How's next week look? Is that powerful? Is that helpful? Yeah. Love it. So that's the yes framework. Or I'm sorry, the no framework. We also have the numbers, okay? We call this scale of 1 to 10. So This is going to be your engineer types, the very what do we call those folks that are just analytical. You're analytical people. Yeah, there you are. Thank you. So you're very analytical type folks. You can ask them to quantitate their level of happiness with their current real estate business. So, hey, scale of 1 to 10. How happy are you with your current real estate business? And again, you're asking for permission first. Can I ask you a question? How happy are you right now, scale of 1 to 10, with your real estate business right now? If they say anything less than 9, you got them. Why do you got them? Because you have the most beautiful question in all of sales, which is, well, yeah. So at first, before you get there, it is, well, you're 9, you're 7, you're 3, whatever it is. Well, what would it take to get you to a 10? And then you take out your golden pen that writes in golden ink, write down every little word they say on what it would take to get them from an 8 to a 10. And then you're going to say, well, now's not the time or place, but if I could show you a way to get those 2 things that are keeping your real estate business from being a 10, would that be worth maybe a meeting next week over Zoom or a cup of coffee? What do you say? How's next week? All right. Very, very simple framework to work through. Now, I see some of you like, well, what if they say 10? Awesome. I like the way you think. So if they say 10, that's cool too, because then what do? At that point, you may be dealing with a no. Right? You may be dealing with a no person. I'm a 10 out of 10. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you love your business. I'm glad that you love your real estate model that you're in. That's incredible. Can I ask you just one more question? Do you feel like you've hit your max potential? And then we go right into that framework, right? So no, well, why not? Right? So, and you can stay in that framework as long as you need to. And then there's the curious. So we like this one as well. And this works. This is one of the best frameworks to think through if your focus is production, right? Attraction through production. This is key. This is a curious framework where you just stay curious. Okay, you're asking them about their business, asking about the model that they're currently with. So an example on what that looks like is you're having a conversation with an agent, and you say, "Hey, before I let you go," and just an example, you are a listing agent. Okay, and as a listing agent, on any given weekend, you may have 5, 10 buyers that go through your listing. Well, maybe not right now, right? Right now it's kind of tough, but you might have 3. You might have 2 or 3 buyers agents that go through your listing. Okay, so they're non-EXP agents. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to ask them what? What do you do as a listing agent when a buyer's agent shows your property, especially in this market? What do you do? You ask them for feedback. Thank you. Don't get weird on me, right? Yes, you absolutely ask them for feedback. What would you normally do? Hey, yeah, man. Thank you so much for showing my listing on Main Street, man. That was really cool. What'd your buyers think? Any feedback from my sellers? As you know, it's been on the market a while. Crazy market, yada, yada. Normal agent talk, right? Any feedback from my sellers? Oh, whatever, yada, yada. Doesn't really matter what they say. Yeah, I get it. The buyers are just looking cool. Hey, man, before I let you go, I'm just curious, right? Because listen, I'm not faithful to anything except my wife, who's sitting right there in the front row. Right? I'm not faithful to anything except my wife and my family. That's it. Okay. Beyond that, I'm always exploring opportunities. I always want to know, make sure I'm getting the best deal in town. So I'm curious. Why did you choose Remax? I'm just curious. I don't know a whole lot about the Coldwell Banker model. I don't know too much about the Compass model. Why did you choose Compass? Okay, cool. Can I ask you a couple more questions while I got you on the phone? So what's the cap at Compass? Like total. You mean like never? It never caps? Oh wow. Okay. Well, well, when do they give it back to you? When do they give you your split back? Like never? Like ever? Wow. Okay. Well, I pay $16K and I get 16 back when I hit Icon. So like I effectively pay nothing to EXP. So I got a better deal. Tell me about the healthcare options at Compass. Like nope. Like none? Okay, well, I mean, I get it. What about stock? How much stock do they give you when you sell houses over there? How much of Compass do you own? Approximately, right? So, and again, I'm being funny, but you should still know about their model. But even if you don't know about their model, you can still use that to your advantage. You're asking legit questions that they probably don't have a great answer for. And then you can say, hey, so sounds like I got a better deal because, again, I pay $16K, I get 16 back. I basically don't pay anything, right? And even the little fees I pay are offset by stock. They're offset by rev share. By the way, how much does Compass pay you when you send an agent to Compass? Right? So these are, okay, like, all right, cool. So it sounds like I got a much better deal over here. You have a great day, man. I hope things work out for you. Now, before you hang up, they're going to be like, wait. What do you mean you got stock? What do you mean you got rev share? What do you mean you got healthcare? Man, well, do they at least have a 24/7 broker support hotline? for that kind of money, right? No. Oh, well, sounds like I got a better deal over here. Thanks. I just want to make sure I'm getting the best deal in town. You have a great day. Wait. Right. So those are the different conversations you can have. Same thing works on the other side. Let's say you're a buyer's agent. Okay. You're a buyer's agent. You go tour 5, 10 houses over the weekend. Who's on the other side of those 5 or 10 houses that you toured? 5 or 10 listing agents. Yes. So you're going to call those agents and say, what? Are you going to EXP on them? No. You're going to call them and say, what? Give them feedback. What do they want, right? We just talked about this. So they want feedback on the house that you showed. You call them, give them the feedback. I'm just curious. Hey, listen, before I let you go, listen, I'm just curious. I want to make sure I'm getting the best deal in town. I never really explored the Coldwell Banker model. Why did you choose Coldwell Banker? Why did you choose RE/MAX? What do you like about them? What's your cap over there? 15? Awesome. When do you get it back? Right? Same kind of conversation. Oh, like never? Like they never give it back? You get the point. So that's a great framework. Another great one for the curious is masterminds. So, hey, man, listen, it was great doing business with you. Or however you entered into that conversation. And then from there, you can ask them, hey, like you seem like a great guy. I see you're crushing it. Who do you mastermind? What mastermind are you a part of? Who's your coach? Who's your mentor? 99% of the time, they don't have one, and then that creates a great opportunity to offer them the ability to tap into some of the resources at EXP, some of the masterminds that we have, some of the trainings and things like that they can take advantage of. All right? So, yep, Coach Mastermind. All right. Here we go. Oops, I think we're back. So that covers the producer framework. Oh, this is another great one that I'll spend some time on here, okay? So your contractors, your vendors, do your vendors and your contractors that you work with, your preferred vendors, do they have a network of agents, yes or no? Yeah. Absolutely. And if they want to stay your preferred contractor and vendor, they should be helping you grow every aspect of your business. They can be helping with your marketing for sure, but also introducing you to other agents. Okay, so there's not a thing in the world wrong with you calling your preferred lender, your preferred title company, your preferred insurance company, your inspector. Hey, who are the top agents that you're working with right now? I'm just so you know, I'm in expansion mode. I'm growing my real estate team here. I'm growing my real estate business, and I'm looking to take on some great agents. Who are the best agents that you're working with right now? Mr. Title Company, Mr. Lender, Mr. Inspector, Mr. Insurance Guy. Okay, would you mind? And the next best question is, would you mind introducing me? Would you mind starting up a 3-way text? Now, when your preferred partner introduces you to someone, what can you not do? What is what is the one thing that we're not going to do? EXP on them, exactly. Okay, that's the best way to burn both relationships. Okay, what are we focused on? We're focused on forging a relationship with that person and then having the natural conversation, natural dialogue. But that you are able to leverage your relationship with your vendors to help introduce you and leverage that trust that they have for those vendors. So those are great questions. You can also ask them, so who's the top agents you're working with right now? And another great question is, hey, who do you know that may be looking to make a move right now? All right, just get straight to the point and ask them if they know anybody. Okay, your title company knows everybody that's always complaining about their split, so he's a great person to ask. All right. That's it for the producer framework. Any other questions on producer? Any questions on producer? Is that helpful? Is that impactful? Yes. Love it. All right. So the next framework we're going to talk about is going to be the promoter. All right. So the promoter framework, these are going to be, again, people that are leveraging. I didn't know I was standing in the way of that thing this whole time. So we're talking about people that are leveraging events, okay? There are a few types of events that you can leverage in this framework. We got large events, we got small events, and then we have virtual events, okay? So there's a few different types of events that you can do. We'll start with small events. We call small events something that's like less than 20 agents. These are super, super easy. Why are they easy? Because any title company, any lender pretty much that you partner with probably has a conference room that can fit, a dozen or so agents in it, okay? And by the way, people think that like we're at Build, okay? Like Build at one point, we did here in Dallas, we had Tony Robbins. There was thousands of people here. It was pandemonium if you remember those times, okay? Brent did not start with that, okay? Brent started with this. You ask him, he'll tell you. He started with this. He started with a conference room at the title company that fit like 12 people, and like 5 of them were like the home inspector and the insurance guy and the mortgage guy and the title guy. So like in like 1 or 2 prospects, okay? So that's how it starts. So don't be embarrassed to start with a smaller team or smaller event, okay? That's how you kind of build up your chops, build up your skills. So, and by the way, those can be just as, if not more impactful than like a large event like this, okay? So think through that. So small event, as we call those, less than 20 people. It's pretty straightforward in terms of how to put those together. Again, your venue. The venue is always one of the most challenging parts when you're putting an event together. That's what stops a lot of agents from doing events at all. So I'm gonna give you some frameworks to find venues and how to host and how to have zero cost events. Is that helpful? Zero cost, I see some heads nodding. Zero cost events. I personally have put on, I don't know, 50 or more events since I've been here at EXP, and every one of the events I've ever done have been zero budget, zero out of Tony's pocket and zero out of Leo's pocket, right? EXP, which is like your pocket too. So that said, we're going to talk about how to do that. How do we put on events? So again, venue is always the big piece. Your title company, mortgage, your builder partners. So when it comes to the venue, and actually, I'm gonna skip this. All of these people typically have a space that you can use. Okay, you like a builder. Typically, you can even have at the builder's model home, or like if it's a luxury community, they'll let you have a broker's open, which you call it a broker's open. Say, hey, I want to invite 20 agents or 20 other agents to this luxury community. Is that okay? Like, can we use your model for that, or can we use one of these homes you have that's sitting vacant right now? Can we do a broker's open there, and then you have a training on luxury there, right? Like, how awesome is that? Didn't cost you a cent. So that's a great opportunity. Builders will pay for that. Now, when it comes to subjects, I solicited Brian Ellington on what are the most attended and most frequently asked events across EXP University. And Brian, he's a little bit of a nerd, and he's great. He loves it. We should all be a nerd at what we do. Like, he loves the education. He loves this sort of thing. So he gave me a list of the top events that agents have viewed, watched, subscribed to, and talked about all over the EXP University site. What are the best topics? So I'm going to give you all these topics now. Do they scroll through? Yeah, they do. The number one right now, obviously, is AI. That's number one by far, okay? And these are, I think, are probably in order of the attendance rates. So AI right now. Now, don't freak out if you don't, like, people already are thinking, oh, like, I don't know enough about AI to teach it. Don't worry, I got you. We'll talk about that. But AI is one. Listings, okay? How to win more listings. That's the number 2 requested or the most in-demand training, listings. Lead generation. That's number 3. Lead generation. All these are things that you can host events on and get an incredible amount of attention. Luxury, always a great draw. YouTube mastery, for example. YouTube mastery. Facebook or Instagram, social media mastery. Right now, just write these down, and then we'll talk about where to get the content, where to get the speakers, how to do all that stuff. Leverage and team building. Business planning workshop. Business planning workshop is huge for like the fall and even earlier on in the year. So it's a great time to start leaning into that stuff now, so that like in October, November, December, you're doing your business planning. Worst case scenario, January, February, you can do some business planning workshops. And don't worry, first and foremost, we talked about already, I'll skip to that. So we gave you the EXP University website. You can go to the EXP University website, and there's 2 resources there. Not only is there a search engine, but also in the sponsor in the box, we've got plug-and-play trainings, events in a box, I think they're called, or yeah, I think that's what they're called. So you can literally, it's a pre-made Canva presentation that you can click through, or again, you go to the university website, you get an hour training from one of the top AI experts, like what Leo did, like what Leo Robles did, there's Phil Stringer, like all that stuff you can get right on the EXP University site. You bring everyone together in a conference room and you push play. You say, hey, this is one of the top guys in the entire AI industry. Check this out. Boom. You hit play. You do a mastermind after that. Talk about how you're going to apply it to your business. You shake hands and you let everybody go. Like, don't overthink this stuff, guys. I promise you, you can do this. Business planning workshops. And by the way, and again, Brian Ellington did a business planning workshop. It is in that same kit. So check that out. It's incredible. Social media mastery, we talked about how to get more buyers, how to get more sellers, NAR settlement stuff. This is a little less common now, but who knows what the future holds, right? Open house mastery, for sale by owner and expired listings. Is expired listing hot right now, like Inspired Listing Mastery? Yeah, exactly. So I have no doubt. I asked Brian for this like 6 months ago. I have no doubt this is going to go up in demand here very, very shortly. But get out ahead of that, right? We have tons of trainings on For Sale by Owners, tons of training on expired listings right now. So go get that. Push play. Push play. Right? Sphere of Influence Mastery. This is another huge one. Always really strong. Okay. Sphere of Influence. Niches. Top niches, right? Whether it's land and ranch, whether it's luxury, whether it's commercial, whether it is probate, like you name it. Think of all those niches. And go to the EXP University. I guarantee we have a training on that stuff. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're going to break them down. Land and ranch, we got probate, we got commercial, we got apartment locating. Oh, yeah, apartment locating, big. Turning renters to buyers. Senior housing, right? 55 plus communities. All those things are great. How to work with investors and actually make money, right? Those are good too. So niches. Tax strategies. We just heard a little bit ago, right? So tax strategies for real estate agents. That's another huge one, especially around tax time. CE classes. This is another one. No brainer, right? Because your title companies, your lenders, by the way, specifically title companies, they typically have someone that's CE certified that is happy to do a class for you for free, for nothing, that agents will come and attend because they got to get CE anyway. Why the heck not? Right? So CE classes, low, no down payment programs. Do you think your mortgage lender would love to teach an event on low and no down payment programs? They will beat your door down. You have to beat them off with a stick. Where's my stick, by the way? Who's got my stick? All right. All right. So those are subjects. Now, this is where 95% of agents drop the ball when it comes. I just made that statistic up, by the way. So the reality is that most agents fail on agent attraction using the promoter method because they don't have a follow-up plan. Okay, this is where everyone drops the ball. They put all the energy, all the effort into planning an event, getting the tools, getting the resources, finding the venue, getting the food, putting marketing out, getting people in the chairs, doing all this stuff, and then you have someone attend the event, and then they just go away, like they're poof off into the ether, and you never hear from them again. Okay, begin with the end in mind. Remember, the point in this is to grow the agent attraction side of your business. The point in this is to then turn those into contacts, into coffee meetings, into agent attraction opportunities, invitations to join EXP. So I recommend a 3-2-1 strategy. So the 3-2-1 strategy, you're going to reach out 3 times the first week after the event. After the event, you're going to reach out 3 times. And it can be, and ideally, the more personal you get, the better, right? You can send them a video message. Hey, man, thanks so much for attending the event. It was great seeing you. I had a few takeaways. These were my takeaways. What did you learn, right? Let's chat about it, right? So those are things. You send them a text message, send them an email. This is across all media. Text message, email, and a phone call or a video message, okay? So 3 times that first week, 2 times the second week. Reach out to them again. Second week. Hey, just checking in on you. Hey, I know that you mentioned that you love the farming part that we talked about. Here's another training on farming you might be interested in. Where do you get that from? Somebody tell me. EXP University. Thank you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have so many tools and resources you can use. So you send them another training that's in that same lane, following up with them. And then the one, again, 3 weeks after that event, send them another thing. And ideally, that is an invitation to the next event that you're having or that you found. Okay. By the way, I'm showing you how to host events. Okay. You don't even have to host the event. Raise your hand if you hosted Build. Right? Right? But you're all here. Okay. So the idea is that you don't necessarily have to even put on your own event, but you can leverage the event. Okay. Remember, this is the promoter framework. You're the promoter, not necessarily the event planner. I'm showing you how to do it because it's not a big deal, but you don't even have to do that. You can just attend, find something that's happening. By the way, on the EXP University website, you know what else you can find is live events that are happening all over. Like, for instance, we meet at Metrotex every single month. Raise your hand if you've been down to the Metrotex IRLs we've had. Oh, I love it. See, y'all are my people. Y'all are my people. I love it. So, yes, that's an example. You can be sending people that. You don't have to do your own event. Okay, you can send them to that, and then you follow up with them the same way. Hey, we're doing it again next month. All right, so that's 3, 2, 1. Eventbrite. Okay, I recommend Eventbrite. Did I have that on the resources? Another resource you need. If you're going to do this framework. I think that's why I didn't put it in here. So if you're using the promoter framework, I recommend Eventbrite. You can use HubSpot as well. HubSpot has these sort of things. But what this allows you to do is systemize or systematize the process of follow-up, knowing who attended when they scan in, and following up with them so that you're getting those touches. It takes about 7 touches before someone even opens their mind to having a conversation with you about EXP. That's the statistic we got in FastCap, by the way, or Fast to Track. Include the sponsor. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're including the sponsor in your communications as much as you can, all right? And we're going to talk about why that's important, because as you begin to grow, as you begin to scale and have larger and larger events, you really want a partner, right? Like with us, there's Capital Title. Like we have some folks, some reoccurring names, reoccurring things, as you can see, that y'all see month after month and event after event. It's because we focus on long-term relationships, and the best way to do that is make sure that you're including your sponsor on some of that communication. By the way, for the events that I've held personally, I don't think I've ever had to beg for money, right? And that's not me bragging, like boasting or anything. I'm being honest so that you guys can have a different frame shift, a mindset. Usually I'm telling folks I don't need the money, right? Like I don't need it. If you want to come to the event, you can add value, great, but it's already covered, okay? It's because I'm focused on adding value and the ROI for my existing partners, making sure they have a list of all the attendees. I'm helping them with their action plan, because guess what? Most sponsors, do we have any sponsors? We don't have any sponsors. Good. So most sponsors suck at follow-up game too, okay? They absolutely do. They come to the event, they set up a table, they shake people's hands, maybe they collect business cards, and then again, after the event, never hear from anybody ever again. So what I'm doing to add additional value and why I don't have to chase money and what you'll never have to chase money is if you are saying, hey, listen, this is my follow-up plan after the event, and I want to include you on this follow-up plan after the event so that you don't just do a one-and-done thing. You stay in their mind, stay front of mind. Because the reality is you can pay $2,000 to come and be a sponsor for this thing, and then all you did was, you might as well have set $2,000 on fire, right? Realistically, if it didn't lead to business for you. I want to lead to business for you. In your title company, your mortgage company, your insurance, whatever it is. So, and then pitching the next event. So that's the follow-up plan. And as we go through, any questions on the small events?
Hey, so what we do in Austin is that we've got a sponsor that takes care of the lunch. What they do is they buy tickets. They fill up at 8 times. So they're responsible to send me names of their team. So that's how we build a group of 50, just like that.
I love it. That's a great idea. That's great. I love it. I love it. Love it. I love that. Cool. So let's move on. Large events again. So large events are going to be things that we're talking about for 20 plus. Okay. So if you got more than 20 agents, like an event with 50 plus agents, 100 some agents, like y'all know we do in MetroTex. We have, I think the first event we had like 250. It looked like this, like people hanging out in the hallway. They almost called the fire department. It was a mess. So I think we got a better handle on it now. But yeah, large events. Okay. So large event is very similar to the small event, but the difference is you're going to need venue partners. Okay. You're not even just venue partners in general, sponsorships, because these things cost money. Okay. Now, how do we still do these things? You got to have a key sponsor strategy in order to pull these off, like we just talked about. So when we're talking about these sponsor strategies, so it's important to know, and a lot of times there's hesitation to approach a sponsor, right? If you don't consider yourself to be a big deal, you can be intimidated to approach a sponsor and say, hey, I need you to pay for thousands of dollars. Okay. So what you want to do is remember who you represent. Right? You guys are with eXp Realty, right?
Yes.
Pop quiz. What is the number one real estate brokerage on the planet? How about the number one in agent count, right? Who's the number one brokerage for agent count? eXp Realty. Number one in transactions?
EXP.
Number one in Texas? Market share? Listings? Buy side? Huh. So we're number one in production. We're number one in market share. We're number one in agent count, right? We're number one across whatever metric that you want to look at. And not only that, just here in Dallas, in Texas, but also in the U.S. and now the world. Heck, I just found out, if you follow me on social media, we're the number one brokerage right now in the UK, for crying out loud, right? Like, come on, guys. Yeah, you can clap it up. You own this company, by the way. You own eXp. So that said, we are the #1 brokerage on the planet. Remember who you represent. So when you're talking to a vendor, you're talking to a sponsor, you're talking to somebody, remember that and say, hey, listen, I represent the #1 brokerage in this area. We have about 3,000 agents in DFW. We're looking at doing a monthly event every single month for the next year. Okay, right? And we're going to have anywhere between 100 to 200 agents to show up. Would you like to be our vendor partner, our venue sponsor? Right? Who's going to say no to that? You guys, your hand up? Shoot.
Where are you getting the metrics for branding?
So if you go to the Agent Attraction Toolkit, right, which you can get from the Growth website, exprealty.com/growth, right? Then click on the toolkit that's there. That will give you all of the. Remember I said it's a dump of every tool, every resource that the Growth team uses. It's in the slide deck. You'll see it in the slide deck that's in there.
So it will compare all the different brokerages?
Yep, there is a side-by-side comparison to all of the publicly traded companies on there. Yes. There's Real Trends, yep, and that, but it's also in the slide deck. So we use the slide deck because we've already assimilated all that stuff and made it look all pretty and fancy. But yes,
And when you look at Agent County, we're independent.
#1 independent brokerage on the planet, absolutely.
One brokerage across the nation.
Yep.
That's what.
I guess it just it depends on what tool you look at. If I'm a market view broker, I see different things.
Well, so yeah, and it's important to note, right? So depends on what you're looking at. Market View Broker is pulling off of MLS, and for instance, in the North Texas area, MLS is required to break it up into different regions, right? So you've got the primary. I'm getting into weeds. We're #1. Fair enough. Trust me, right? We're one brokerage, but because of the way Netrius works, you have to kind of split it up. But we're still one brokerage. Okay. Versus other franchises where you got franchise here, franchise, those are completely separate businesses. It's one brand, but it's different businesses. Shoot.
RE/MAX has 120,000 agents,
Yep.
but that's worldwide.
Those are brands.
Those are independent, there's only independent brokers.
Those are not brokerages. That's a brand. And franchises, exactly. Make sense? So EXP is one brokerage. We're just one office. Exactly. We're one brokerage. We don't have individual franchises. We don't have individual pop-up shops with people just slap the logo on it and say, yeah, we're this now, right? Those are brands, okay? EXP is just one brokerage. 10,000 agents almost here in Texas under one brokerage. One broker, Karen Richards. Thank God it's not me anymore. All right. So we talked about determine their ROI, okay? So their ROI, remember, we're going to help them set up a follow-up plan, a follow-up strategy. We're also going to bring their sponsor up on stage. You want to be intricate with thinking about what's in it for them, what's in it for your sponsor. Bring them up on stage. Put your arm around their shoulder. Tell them, hey, this is my mortgage guy. This is the guy, right? Take out your phone right now. Scan this QR code. This is your Plan B mortgage guy. When your first plan falls apart, call this guy, right? Be intentional about helping them grow their business, and you'll never have to search for money. I promise you, because I've been there, and I don't need money. All right. Follow-up strategy. Include them in your follow-up plan. Bring them on stage with you. Mention that. Focus on the relationship. Okay. When's the last time you talked to your sponsor or your event contributor and didn't ask for something? Right. Be a good friend. Right. Just reach out to those folks. Those are actual people. Right. Your lender's an actual person with a family and a life outside of that. So again, be a good friend. Be a good partner. Call your sponsors, call your people, and again, be friends with them before you ask them for money, okay? Focus on a long-term strategy. Focus on check-ins with them on a reoccurring basis. So this is how, and I think I've got that in here. So this is what I do with my sponsors, right? So very similar. What we found in getting events paid for free, the venue is always the big part. So that's going to be your largest partner, whether that's your mortgage or title, typically one of those two. And you're going to approach them and you're going to say, hey, here's who I represent, right? You got your EXP swag on, like who you represent. And then make sure you let them know this is not a one and done thing. This is long term. We're doing this for 12 months. So by the way, on the action side, if this is going to be your framework, on the action side of your paper, write down, I'm going to plan 12 events. You need to plan 12 events. And I just gave you a ton of them. Okay, and you can get more on the EXP University side if you want. So you're going to go on the right side of the paper. You're going to write down the 12 events that you're going to host over the next 12 months. And by the way, we already got some done for you. We got Regional Rally. You don't got to worry about that one. So you're down to like 11, right? We got EXP Con, right? That's another one. So now you're down to 10. We got like build, okay? So now you're down to like what, 9, right? So this is super easy. Now you only need 9 events out of all the ones I gave you. You only need 9 more to pick out and say, hey, I'm going to do an event around these 9. Then you go to your vendor sponsors. Hey, I would love for you to be a part of this. If you're interested, we're going to have 50 of the top producing agents, which is true, 50 of the top producing agents in this area, bringing them together and having an event. We'd love for you to be the vendor sponsor. And what I tell them, and what I mean by that is, so as vice president of EXP, as my full-time job, I don't have time to be like scouting out venues and like tasting food and like doing all, like I can't do that. Okay, so I go to a sponsor and say, hey, Capital Title, for example, or whatever title company you got. I need you to find me a space. Like this is what it means to be my vendor partner. I need you to find me a space that fits 200 agents. Go. Right? So like once they've agreed to be that sponsor for you, to find you a space that fits 50 or like whatever size event you're doing, I want them to go and find that event. And then, by the way, I don't care how much they pay for it. That's none of my business. And a lot of them have side deals and networking and like through relationships like where they can get a steep discount, as opposed to me going around and saying, oh, I want to be at this place and this is nice and I don't go to that place and having to do all this. And it's like, no, then also I got to deal with the money and they got to collect it from them and I got to pay the sponsor. Then I'm like, all right, well, we got 20,000 from this person and 10,000 from that person and 2,000 from him and $500 sponsors. It's an absolute nightmare. Okay. I don't do that. I say I need a venue sponsor. One person is going to find us an event center in the center of town, centrally located. That's my only requirement. It needs to be somewhere somewhat centrally located and can fit 200 agents. Can you do that? Yes. Cool. And then they're my partner. And I'll have to think about it again. Same thing with the food. If you have food. By the way, I'm a big proponent of no food. That's why y'all didn't get fed today, right? I'm a big proponent, right? But everybody ate, right? Did everybody eat? Yep. Everybody ate, right? But we didn't pay for no food. So here's the thing. When it comes to food, if you're going to do food, you get a food sponsor. And you say, hey, now you got the title company paying for your venue. They're going to find it. They're going to do the thing. You go to your mortgage person or whoever else and say, hey, we need a food sponsor. Would you be willing to sponsor the food? And again, I'm not picky. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, it needs to be like fancy Chipotle or whatever. Like, no, like you find the food. Like, and agents are not coming for the food. That's why I'm a big no food proponent, because agents are not coming for the food. And in my opinion, my preference would be you invite an agent to the event, you feed them with a ton of content, with a ton of great information, and then you let people go so that they can meet with the prospect that they brought to the meeting. So raise your hand if you had lunch with a prospect that you invited, right? So like that's exactly what this is designed to do. Not to feed you, but to actually take you and say, hey, listen, bring them here so they can learn how to produce, speak to whatever need they have in their real estate business, and then we release you to go have lunch with them, right? So that's the idea. And it works great too when you structure the timing of your event. So that can be key as well. So the timing of the event matters. You can do typically from like 8 or 9 a.m. to about 11. Okay, great training you can get in there. And guess what? If you end your event at 11 or 11:30, what's nobody expecting? Lunch, right? Or, and y'all are like, man, I was wondering why the Metrotex things are always at a different time, right? So, or you could do like 1 to 4, same exact thing. If you schedule the event from 1 to 4, what is nobody expecting? Boom. Okay. So again, don't overthink this stuff. You don't even have to have a food sponsor, but if you want a food sponsor, get a food sponsor. Tell them you want to be a food sponsor. They'll get sandwiches chopped up and whatever. And by the way, the other thing on food, I just don't want to waste, because like, raise your hand if you've been to a real estate event and they had food, and then there was just like when you left, you saw boxes and boxes and boxes of food. Like it happens all the time, right? It's such a huge waste, right? So I'm not a big proponent of it, but do your thing if you want to do food. Just be cognitive of it, cognizant. Thank you. Of it. Yes. It's been a long day. All right. So there's that, the venue sponsor. The only other sponsor that you may need, right, is just going to be like I usually have like a video sponsor, an AV sponsor. Okay. That's going to be your AV sponsor that's going to cover capturing the event, right? Socials, walk-ins, walkouts, interviews, stuff like that. Blended Sense is incredible, by the way. So, but like you want to have a video capture sponsor that provides your AV stuff and maybe provides your video and photography and stuff like that. And again, you just ask someone else. Like you ask your insurance guy, you ask the inspector, you ask the whoever, roofer, foundation company, pool company. Hey, would you be? I'm doing these 12 events. #1 brokerage on the planet. #1 in this area. 3,000 agents. We'll have about a few hundred of them together. Would you be willing to be the sponsor to cover just the expense of like our AV and our whatever, right? So that's a great way to do that. All right. Any questions on zero cost events? You think you could do that? Can y'all do that? For those of you that are looking to do it, yeah, it's not hard. What you got?
On the AV, what level do you, is an AV must, like a 12 person or
Trust your judgment. Trust your judgment. Yeah. So made bad decisions. So yeah, generally that's going to be for large events, right? Generally, because like if you've got 20 or less, like you can pull your own phone out and like do, you know what I mean? You don't really need it for that. If it's in a conference room, you don't really need it. Now, if it's in a large room like this, obviously we need AV. If it's in build, if it's 50 plus, I'd recommend probably getting that. You want to capture the energy in the room and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Also, I'd recommend as well, Brian Carruthers in that book, Building an Empire. He has a whole chapter on how to do successful events. Don't have time for it today, but I gave you the book, and you're going to get the book, and you're going to read it and apply that. There's a strategy behind what kind of music to play, how many chairs to put out, more than we had in here, right? But to be fair, you all, well, not you all are early birds because y'all came in early, but we planned this based on how many people were registered like 2 days before the event. Right? Everybody like flew in the last like 2 days and doubled the size of the event. So anyways.
And then on the education side, do you think building, like have AI step 1, AI step 2, is that smart or do they all be
Don't overthink it, man. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I would probably recommend having some diversity in there, right? Like mix it up a little bit because not everyone's interested in AI, but some people are, right? It's number one topic, but some people would be more interested in lead generation or whatever it is. But don't overthink it, man. Put it on and they'll come and you'll learn and adapt. All right? Anything else? All right. That's a fact. That's anything in life. That's it. Finally, of course, we got virtual events. That's weird. Webinar. So virtual events, webinars, very, very similar strategy to the rest of them. It's just you just do it like in your house or like in a studio and where you can broadcast it. I do recommend webinar mode. Why do I say webinar mode on like Zoom? I recommend that just because you can repurpose the content and it doesn't like have all of your guests and stuff. It only records you, so that's something you can repurpose for other things, whether it be social media or whatnot. But webinar, same kind of thing. Again, people always drop the ball on the follow-up strategy, especially with online events. Like you have this webinar, you have these people come and then they leave and you never hear from them again. You want to make sure you have a strategic follow-up cadence in place before you do the event. Don't start the event until you know how you're going to follow up. All right? So if you're doing events, make sure you're having a follow-up strategy. Okay? All right. So that is the event framework and the promoter framework. Any questions on the promoter? All right. Now, influencer. These are our social media influencers, people that are crushing it on social. They use social media as a means by which to grow their agent attraction. Again, you're talking your Mike Sherrard, your Go-Go Beth Keys, and the like, okay? People that are crushing it on social. So what does it look like? You need really 3 things in order to be successful in social media. Now, obviously, Tina Call was here. And she went deep, right? Was Tina not amazing? Was she freaking amazing?
Great.
Tina was incredible, okay? So I'm not going to regurgitate a lot of stuff that she went over, so I'm going to skip it or really cut this down. But follow what she said, and you're going to be amazing, okay? Just sort of to recap at a very high level, you need engaging content, okay? You need engaging content, and what is engaging to your audience? Okay, I don't know. Okay, you got to figure out what your avatar is. You got to figure out who it is that you're looking to speak to. Who's your tribe, and then see what do they find engaging. What do they find that is significant? And you can do that by going into different Facebook groups. You can see what they like. What are they following? What are they into? And just repurpose or steal or you just copy what they already like. That's the beauty of social media. That's the beauty of these things is that you can see what they are into. Okay, so when you see what they're into, that gives you the ability to duplicate that, right? R&D, right? It's rip off and duplicate. So come up with engaging content. And I say engaging, and engaging can mean a lot of different things, right? So you don't have to be like super, and I know that we were watching today and like all these cute videos and they're like funny and that makes it go viral, obviously, right? When you're like doing funny and silly stuff. But it's also important to remember that if that's not you, like don't do that. Like be yourself, your authentic self. So there's another one of our top attractors that I actually interviewed for our Fast Attract program. Allie G, right? Allie Garcid. She's incredible. And when I interviewed her, I was like, hey, what are you doing? And what kind of things are you posting? And what profiles are you using? I asked her, 100 questions, right? So as we're trying to put this course together. And one of the things that and by the way, Tina, we have one with Tina too. But that said, it can be intimidating if you're not crushing it in in production, right? You're like, oh, who wants to hear from me, like agent-wise? Well, one of the things that Allie did, she had just transitioned from another career into real estate, and she just documented her journey. It can really be that simple. So even if you haven't closed 100 transactions, you can say, like, wherever you're at in your, let's say you've done 10 deals. Well, to the agent that's only done 5, you're a freaking superstar. They're trying to figure out how to get to 10. You got a whole tribe of people that have done less than 10 that want to get where you're at, right? And by the way, you can also document people that would be interested in coming alongside you, right? You can say, hey, look, I'm going door knocking today, right? It's 170 degrees outside here in Frisco, Texas, but I'm going to go knock on 50 doors. Y'all come with me and see what happens, right? And you go knock on doors. Like, is that not engaging content? Even if I never sold a house, hey, I'm hosting an open house right now, and you put that out there and show them what you're actually doing. Hey, I'm actually headed right now to a client inspection. Okay, and at this inspection, I'm going to be, walking through these things, and we'll be talking about the foundation. And by the way, the foundation here in Texas sucks, so it's going to be a whole thing, right? These are just normal conversations you can have. Just record what you're already doing. I have a client that wants, they got that champagne taste and beer budget, right? So now I'm document yourself on MLS doing a search, and I can't find anything. All that kind of stuff you can use as engaging content. Okay, so don't get in your own way when it comes to what can be engaging. You can copy it, or you can just document who you are and what it is. Minimum is going to be, as you're engaging posts, 2 to 5 posts, 3 to 5 posts a week. That's the minimum number. 3 to 5 posts a week on minimum for folks that are taking agent attraction seriously through influencing. We talk about the Mike Sherrads, we talk about the Go-Go's and the posts that are the Tinas and stuff. They're doing 2 to 5 posts a day. Okay? So just like I told my sister right here when I said, hey, does your calendar reflect your ambition? The same thing goes true when we're talking about your social media. If somebody looks at your social media, would that person be convinced that you're going to crush it in agent attraction, right? Does your effort match your ambition, right? So the folks that are absolutely crushing it, they're putting out a ton more content. So you don't have to stop at 3 to 5 posts, but the minimum is going to be 3 to 5 posts per week. That's a minimum. And the third thing, by the way, use ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is your best friend when it comes to the posting stuff. As we talked about today, we've been learning about all that. By the way, there's a new feature that just got released 2 weeks ago, which is Agent. Okay, have y'all heard of this Agent, ChatGPT Agent? Yeah, a few of you have. Okay, so this is really cool. So, and it's freaky. It's kind of scary. So what you can now do is you can select the Agent tool within ChatGPT, and it will actually open up its own browser, and you can see the AI logging in and doing what it is you asked it to do. So for instance, if I said, hey, ChatGPT Agent, I need you to book me a ticket for Delta from here to California next week, okay? You will see it open up a calendar. You see it open up the Delta website, click on the thing, type in DFW to LAX, scroll through options, click on, it will literally input fields. It will click. You can see the mouse moving around and clicking and doing the whole thing, right? So where that's beneficial is now you can check out different AI, right? So you can ask ChatGPT to go, hey, log into Perplexity and Grok and Gemini and Claude. Do the same prompt that I gave you. Do the same prompt on these other AI engines and give me the best of the best. They're top 3 out of all 3 of them. And it will do that for you, right? It's super freaky, super crazy. So, in any event, use ChatGPT. You can actually have it do whatever it is you're looking to do in terms of social media. Here's another thing. So when you find your tribe and you see agents that you're looking to target on social media, what you want to do is, and remember this is something you want to write down, never again like a post without leaving a comment. Never again like a post without leaving a comment. Why do we say that? You want to like the post and leave the comment. Why? For the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, right? That's going to serve you up. So what happens, and why is this strategic? Why is this important? Because when you like that agent's post, number one, you get to see what they're into, okay? And the algorithm is constantly looking and saying, okay, you like their stuff, so I'm going to give you more of their stuff. Okay, and when you like that person's post and then you leave a comment, now all of a sudden, and by the way, that comment needs to be at least 2 sentences, 2 or 3 sentences, not much. And if you can't think of something, take a screenshot of the post, send it to ChatGPT. Hey, give me an engaging content, like give me 2 or 3 sentences about this. I have not tried it. They just rolled it out. Try it. Maybe, probably. I don't know. If it can't do it now, it will like next week, right? So, yes. So that's it. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah. So liking helps, but the best scenario is liking and commenting a thoughtful comment, right? So not even just like go girl, like that doesn't really cut it, right? So you like it, you give 2 or 3 sentences. Oh, that's amazing. I do the same thing with my sellers and it works great, right? Boom. Super simple like that, or something you get from GPT. Okay, now you're at the highest level in terms of the algorithm. So not only do you like that thing, but you're actually engaging with that thing. So algorithm is happy, and this is where the beauty comes in, is because when the algorithm, and not only the algorithm, when that person that you've liked and left the thoughtful comment under their post, what are they going to do to that comment? They're going to like it. Exactly. They're going to heart it. They're going to like the thing that you just post. So now you're in algorithm heaven, right? Because now the algorithm sees not only do you like their stuff and you're thoughtful about their stuff, like you really like their stuff, but also they like your stuff that you posted. So now the algorithm, when you post something, is going to be sharing your stuff with them. That's the goal. So as you move with social media and you're creating these networks, these webs, the algorithm's tracking this. They're going to serve you up to them in their timelines. Shoot.
If you can end your comment with a question, it allows them to answer it. Because if you just comment, they're just going to like it. But
Go
if you
for
ask
it.
a
I love it.
question about what they posted, then they're going to respond to that question. It actually triggers a little bit higher.
I love it. It even triggers even higher to ask a question. There you go. And if you can't think of a question, ChatGPT can help you think of a question. All right, end it with a question. All right, be specific in your prompting. I love that. That's a great idea. All right, final thing that you need. Follow your friend list. So we're going to talk today as well about how to build a list and follow everybody on your friend list, and then do the follows, do the things that we talked about. Okay, engage with their posts, 2 to 3 sentences, as we mentioned. Now, the next piece that you need beyond engaging content, remember, we need 3 things to be successful in agent attraction through the influencer framework. First, engaging content. 2, consistency. Okay, consistency is key. As we talked about, you need to be consistent with your 2 to 5 posts per week, and then time. Every single influencer that you talk to, and we heard it, right? We heard it from Tina. We heard it from many of the social, the Orange County, like a lot of people that we talked to today. We've heard from that said, hey, this is not going to happen overnight. This is where a lot of agents fail with social media, is they think that it's going to pop instantly, right? It takes time to season. Anyone that does social media and has done it well at a high level will tell you it takes about 6 to 9 months to start seeing really, really positive results with the social media, and specifically, again, talking about the agent attraction side, okay? We've heard of agents doing a little bit better in terms of production, but when it comes to agent attraction, it is a long game. It's because you're playing the algorithm. And by the way, when that agent clicks on your stuff, they need to see typically a lot that's there before they are comfortable reaching out to you. Okay? So now Tina and some others taught us some different shortcuts and things that we can sort of leverage by providing content and squeeze pages and all that kind of stuff. You can shortcut some of that. But if you're just talking strictly organic stuff where you just post your stuff, this is going to take time. Okay? So I want you to be reasonable and realistic in your time approach for your agent attraction efforts on the influencer framework. All right? Any questions on influencer? All right. Coaching framework. So, coaching. I guess, well, this is small enough room. Yeah. Shoot. I got you. So, mixed feedback on that, right? So myself, Brian Ellington, we've interviewed, like, again, almost all of our agents that use that framework, and it's a mixed bag. Some of them say you need to have a separate account just to focus on agent attraction that's separate from you speaking to your buyers and your sellers. Other ones say, no, I just do one. Like, and it's all authentic me, right? Like, sometimes it's family stuff, sometimes it's work stuff, sometimes it's agent stuff, sometimes it's whatever, and production stuff. So it's really a mixed bag both ways. There's no real decider on that. Try it and see. That will be my advice. And see what the algorithm does. Ultimately, the almighty algorithm will decide, right? So, all right, coaching. I guess this is always an interesting one because not everyone wants to be a coach. Raise your hand if you're interested in being real estate coach or having a coaching program, coaching school. Okay, cool. Well, then we'll do it. All right. So this starts with, by the way, being creating a killer course. Okay. A lot of times, people will fail with this strategy because they didn't start with the killer course. That is key. Like, you have to have a course that knocks people off their feet, that is undeniable, and that produces results. You cannot do the coaching for, like, it's not like, hey, I did well, now, sign up for my coaching program. Like, it don't work like that, right? I'll show you to do what I did. No. You have to have a documented and strategic process for a great coaching program with results that are tied to it, and ideally a guarantee as well, which we'll talk about. So those are the strongest coaching programs. You want to start with a killer course, we can sort of ease this approach by using some of the things that exist, like the mentor program, right? Like FastCap. The FastCap program is the FastCap program is a coaching program, right? It's a 6-week program, meeting 3 times a week. What else would you call that, right? With DPAs, daily productive tasks, and then money makers, right? So these things are already baked into the mentor program, into FastCap. So you can use those as well as EXP University, and with the addition of AI and ChatGPT and AI agent as well, you can create incredible coaching programs through that. And I did this, by the way. I did this last weekend. So I used AI agent, and I said, hey, go to the EXP University website, download all of the training on AI that's on the EXP University website. And I watched AI agent go in, it was super creepy, go in, opened up the EXP University website, typed in the word AI, right? Clicked on the podcast link where all the AI trainings are, went to the download button, downloaded all of the AI trainings, and put them all in a zip folder for me, okay? And took the transcripts out. So now I put those in Otter or different AI, got the transcripts out of all those trainings, and then I said, hey, make a best of out of all of these, right? So you can actually do this, right? But it has to start with high level training that is incredible, and it's a killer course from the best of the best, okay? And by the way, Brian has already given it a blessing. You can go in, you can do that as much as you want. No copyright infringement, but just be smart about it, be cool with it, and you'll be fine. But start with creating a killer course that achieves results. Then follow that up with an irresistible offer for a free trial. Irresistible. So now once you have an incredible coaching framework, incredible coaching program, you can offer. And by the way, if you've not read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy, that is an absolutely incredible book. It will help you come up with a great offer that is, again, irresistible. Irresistible offer is what you want. So create that irresistible offer for a free trial to work with you in your coaching program. And again, this is very high level. We can go deep, at another time. Happy to chat with anybody. But you start with that, and then through your free trial period, you offer an ultimatum, right? So you give them the free trial, and ideally you over deliver on that free trial. Okay, sometimes again you need a guarantee in order to get them off the fence and say, hey, I guarantee that you'll see this result. I guarantee you'll have X amount of leads or what an additional deal during this time period or whatever it is. Let's say you give them a 30-day free trial on your incredible sock knocking program, right, that you've got going, and you give them a 30-day free trial to work with you. You over deliver, they get more results than you promised them, and then at the end of that trial period, you get to say, hey, man, it was incredible working with you. Hopefully I delivered, if not over delivered, on everything you thought this course was going to be. If you want to continue to work with me, okay, we got 2 options. Either you hire me on full-time as your coach, and I'm willing to do that for $10,000 a month or whatever you're worth, okay? We'll do that for $10,000 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever your thing is. Or you can just join me here at EXP, and you'll get my coaching program for free, and you'll get my coaching for free. All right. So all of the top level coaches, that's kind of like what they do. I don't need to throw their names out there. You know who they are. But that's the skinny on the back of house math on how they do real estate. They have these funnels that funnel people into an irresistible offer. The irresistible offer typically is a free trial. The free trial turns into an ultimatum. That's coaching. All right. And then finally, so we talked about the coaching framework. Finally, let's talk through any questions on coaching? All right, so as we hit the last framework here, last framework is connector. So the connector framework, this is key. Now, if you remember, I said you've got 2 feet, right? And one foot needs to be constantly planted in the connector lane. The other one you can get around, right? Because a lot of these, like, hey, you may do social media that leads people to your coaching program, right? Or you may do, production and then use social media as well as a part of it, right? So all these other feet can move around, but you have to keep one foot planted in the connector framework at all times, remembering that you are, at the end of the day, a connector. Like that's what you have to be in order to make any of these things work. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here going into connector, okay? So connector framework, what is this? This is the long play. This is the long play. This is the relationship. This is when you come to a higher learning, a higher understanding that everyone you talk to about EXP is not going to join day one. Right? They're not going to just like jump the fence and say, oh, I'm ready to join, like the first time they hear about it. You understand that the goal, the objective here is even not them joining EXP. The goal is to pour into them and pour into that value vault that we talked about, to pour until you hit that value tipping point where now you are the most valuable real estate voice in their life, in their career. Okay? It's a long term. You pour until they ask. Until they ask, okay? You focus on the value-based relationship until that person asks you. So how do we do this, right? So we reconnect if it's someone that you haven't spoken with in a while. You network. You follow up with shareables monthly. And what I want, and you keep pouring, you keep dripping, you keep sowing seeds until they ask. Now, when it comes to this, and this is key, I'm going to switch it here. Nope, not that one. See this. I'm going to take you now into the toolkit that we discussed. Give me one sec here. Let's switch to. All right. Is that blurry? Can y'all see that okay? Or is that? Let's do. That's weird. No, not that. Yeah. There we are. Yeah, I need a toolbox. All right. So if you've been to the growth website, right, exprealty.com/growth, the very first tile there is called the Agent Attraction Toolkit, the Growth and Attraction Toolkit. This is what that toolkit is. Remember, I said this is a brain dump. This is everything that the growth team uses on a day-to-day basis to help agents with agent attraction. There's even a Canadian version. I think it's French. But as you scroll down, this is everything. Okay, this is a beautiful website, and guess what? What do you see there? What type of attractor are you? This is the same thing that you see over and over again. Are you a producer, promoter, influencer, coach, or connector? You've got my brother Russ Lagan there talking about rev share stuff. You can share those videos. You can share those clips. Co-sponsorship, right? If you want information on co-sponsorship, takes you to the whole toolkit on co-sponsorship. You got a 12-minute video from Russ. So this is the question, right? So when you have that conversation, when the time finally comes to have that EXP discussion, you want to make sure you're using a third-party tool, not just you talking, because you'll screw it up. I would screw it up. I use third-party tools so that I don't screw up when I'm having a conversation about EXP. There's just so much that we have to offer, okay? So you can use that 12-minute video. So when you say, hey, let's meet over a cup of coffee, let's meet over a Zoom for 15 minutes or so. Then you pull up this video. It's a 12-minute video with Russ talking about EXP and explaining what it is, explaining the value proposition of EXP, or you go through it yourself. Okay, we have a slide deck. So Russ does the video. You know, Russ and his whiteboard are like a match made in heaven. He's a dangerous man with a whiteboard and a stick. Myself, I'm a slide deck person, right? This slide deck was like my project. Okay, I'm a dangerous man with a slide deck, right? That's my thing. So I work with our marketing team on putting this incredible slide deck together in Canva, but it has so many cool resources and things that you can use. And then I also put this one pager together for you. Again, it's a slide, but the cool thing is, this is a one pager. One page. What do I get with EXP? Like, what's it about, right? Yes. So this was a brainchild of mine that I was like, listen, we need one thing. Like, what is one thing I can share about it? Stop taking pictures. It's on the website. and by the way, live links. Remember, I've got brain damage. So this was more for me than anybody else. I did this for me. Okay. So The 5 value pillars of EXP explained very, very simply. The tech stack, the lead gen, the training, the support plus. And by the way, this little finger here, right? This reminds me, the guy with brain damage, that you can click on all these. These are clickable links that will take you to those individual websites where they can get more information. So this one pager is designed, if you have someone that you don't have, it'll take you about 30 minutes or so, 15 to 30 minutes to get through the slide deck. So we have different things for different time periods. Less than 15 minutes, you can play Russ's video. You got around 15 to 30 minutes or so, you can go through the slide deck. If you got 5 minutes, you got an elevator ride, right? Like till you get to the top of the elevator, you can pull this up on your phone, on your tablet. You got it saved in your notes, whatever. Pull this in here, and then you can talk to that prospect about whatever they're interested in, whatever they're struggling with in their real estate business, and say, hey, if I could show you a way to tap into the tools that are going to fix that thing for you, if we know it's going to be one of these 5 things, and then you can go into detail about those things. Okay, so if they want to know more about the luxury program, you click on luxury, it takes them over there. Land and Ranch, click it, takes you to Land and Ranch. Whatever you're looking to do. CRM of choice. We keep this updated, by the way, every single week when we drop something new. I have to go back in and make sure it's on this. So that's an incredible opportunity and toolkit there for you. All right, is that helpful? Did y'all know that existed? No, I didn't know that existed. Yes. Nobody knew it, right? I love it. I love it. So we got the whole slide deck here, and again, the slide deck, as you can see, is beautiful. It is animated, and someone asked in the back there, like, oh, where do I see the stuff about EXP's rankings? It's right here. We put it in the slide deck, right there. That slide right there. It is the rankings of us. This is Real Trends and Res Media. This is our top 250 teams. This is like what was their production. All that stuff is right there. And by the way, we have cite your sources. We cite all the sources, so there's no dispute on who's the best and who's the biggest and who's the baddest. We all know who that is, right? That's just the video. When you click on it, it takes you to the most recent ones. Yep. Good catch. I like you. All right. Revenos, right? Lead generation. You click on this, talks about Revenos. Oh, this was another baby of mine. Oh my gosh. I'm proud of this. RevShare calculator, right? This is in beta. Have y'all played around with that? Oh, y'all see, at least one person likes it. Yes. So in this AI world that we lived in. So we heard Leo this morning talk about, like, hey, who's using Lovable, right? Well, I use Lovable along with our AI team and some other folks to build out an actual corporate approved, blessed RevShare calculator. We know there's some other ones out there. Unfortunately, those other ones are not accurate, okay? Just to be clear, okay? This is 100% accurate. It's been blessed by our legal department. It's been blessed by our production team, blessed by the RevShare team, blessed by all the executives at EXP. So it's an actual RevShare calculator you can use to forecast your revenue share earnings, okay? So that's the thing you can use when you're talking revenue share. I also have a video here where I break down how to use it, all right? We have some events, right? Again, if you're focused on those frameworks, you can do, we have some checklists and different things for small events and for large events. How do you do lunch and learn? All those sorts of things. Some of the stuff we talked about today, but in more detail, you can get them right here. Checklist, event guide, and the whole thing. We're actually redoing that. Objection. Again, y'all know I'm not big on scripts. I'm not big on objection handlers, but we do have some in here. This is Brian Carruthers, who I've referenced a few times today, having a conversation with Leo about some objection handling and some scripts. All right. This was who was at EXPCon? Yeah, all you were at EXPCon. So did you go to the script battle that I hosted? Script battle? Anybody go to script battle? A few people did, yes. So we recorded that script battle. Some of our top producers, some people that you heard from today, right? We asked them, hey, how do you sell EXP? How do you handle this objection, that objection? We recorded that whole thing and we put it into this toolkit as well. So the best of the best. Now, this is where I want to talk about, because we're talking about the connector framework. Actually, let's go down just a little bit more. So we have stories here. Facts tell, stories sell. So we have some of our most incredible success stories of EXP. We're constantly building out this library of success stories that you can share and resonate with a prospect on any level. We're going to have new agent success stories. We'll have agents that are going from not new, but they haven't capped yet, but now they moved to EXP and they're capping. We have people that went from capping to Icon. We have whether it's a $10 million team, $100 million team, we are going to have $1 billion teams on here as well. No matter who your prospect is, we'll have stories on here that will relate to them. Small teams, large teams, whatever, or individual agents. So we have a bunch of success stories in here that you can click on and share with your prospects as well, so that they can resonate. All right. And then this is your growth team. Okay. Y'all know me. Still the same OG. here in Texas. But this is the entire growth team that's there to support you in whatever region. I know we have people that flew in, whatever region that you're in. You can see your growth leader there, as well as the incredible Amy Weaver. So that's the toolkit. Now, back to the connector framework. So this is where it gets exciting. This is why I wanted you to make sure that you save this, because if you got this 1 foot planted in the connector column, you're going to need the tools, you're going to need the resources that you find here. The first one is called the list builder. All right, so the list builder, this is really small. I'll make it bigger. Okay, so this is the list builder. Now, this list builder tool is designed, and this is one that you want to take action on today. Okay, so everyone has already put the time in their calendar when they're going to focus on the agent attraction side of their business. Okay, the first thing that you're going to do on your next time block is fill out this list. Now, what goes in this list? List is going to be 50 to 250 agents, no less than 50, no more than 250 agents that you're going to put on this list. You're going to put their names, first name. You're going to put their last name. You're going to put their phone number. You're going to put their email. Tony, I thought you said, what about Sisu and the CRMs and blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that yet. Trust me. You can get there. When we get to the CRM, you can export it into your CRM. It's like a snap of a finger. Okay, don't worry about that. Right now, focus on building out your list. Raise your hand if you made a list of every agent that you know when you came to EXP. Leave your hand up if you have contacted every agent on that list. Only one. And it's the biggest rev share group in the room. Imagine that, right? Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So everyone else, the first thing you're gonna do on your agent attraction block, you are going to go through at 50 to 250 agents on that list, and then you're gonna put their names, numbers, emails. Then you're going to put their deal count compared to you. Their deal count compared to you. Why is that significant? Why is that important? Okay, so you'll put here. Blue is going to be someone that's done less deals than you or less successful, depending on how you define that. Green is going to be someone that is equal to you in production or in stature or whatever it is. And then red is going to be someone that is beyond you, right? Someone that is more successful than you, whether it's transaction count, whether it's brokerage size, team size, whatever that is. So you're going to put people in 3 different categories depending on how successful they are compared to you. Why is that important? Well, you're going to understand a lot when you read Brian's book. Again, Building an Empire, but your approach to these 3 different types of prospects is going to be a little bit different. Okay. Now the the blues are people that look up to you, right? Remember we talked about if you're doing 10 deals a year and he's doing 5, listen, man, you want to do 10 deals like me? Okay, come to EXP. Like that's an easy one, right? That's a very easy conversation. You want to be like me? I'm at EXP. Come here. I'll show you how to do it. Okay. The greens are a little bit more story related, okay? Because that person could be struggling with something similar to where you're at your station. So you want to resonate with that person a little bit differently. Hey, can I tell you my story? Can I tell you what I think that I found here at EXP, right? The situation I was facing that's maybe similar to yours, okay? What I found here is the ability to do A, B, and C, right? Which resonates with their A, B, and C, okay? So that's going to be your greens, telling stories. And then your reds, the reds are where it gets exciting. The reds are going to be the people that are like, man, if I could get that person, like it would change everything. Man, like those are people that you're scared to call. Like, oh, they're not going to be interested in EXP, right? Put those people down. Highlight them in red. Those are going to be the folks that, A, you can loop in your sponsor to call those people with you, or your accountability partner, and or the growth team. Like, I got your back. I ain't scared to talk to nobody. I get paid to do this, right? So that said, those are going to be your reds, okay? Highlight the reds. And then the reason, by the way, this is a spreadsheet. The first thing you're going to do is make a copy, as it says here, right? Again, this is for Tony in the slow section. Make a copy, right? You can't edit this form, but you can make a copy. Click here and make a copy, and then you can start filling out the form, okay? Why is this a Google form? Why is this something that you don't print and download and fill in with a pen and paper? 2 reasons. Number one, it's made this way because a Google form you can share. It's not even an Excel spreadsheet. Don't change it to Excel. This is meant to be a Google sheet so that you can share it. You click this and you can share it. Okay? Why is that important? Because remember, we have an accountability partner, right? And when you have an accountability partner, as we mentioned, you're 90% more likely to be successful. So you're going to share this list when you're done with your accountability partner. And when a new agent comes on board into your organization, you're going to have them fill it out and share it with you. Brian Crowther said that you want them to share it with you so that after they quit and leave EXP, you still got their list. I didn't say that. That's what Brian Crowther said. So that's like a secondary reason, right? But truth is truth. Okay, so that's something that you want to do is make sure that you get this on the Excel or on the Google Sheet. What's your question? So very easy. How do you think you found out your account? So you've got MLS, obviously. You can check Zillow. You can check Homes.com is a really good one, right? So you can use any one of those three methods. And sometimes you just know, like, hey, I know where I'm at, and like that person is. You typically know, like, if they do less deals than you, or they do like, hey, this person's freaking crushing it, right? Fair enough. And you can look at just estimate based on their current. Market View. Well, if they use Market View Broker, there's what's the other one that we just partner with? No, well, there's that one too. Core.io. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, right? Shoot.
Where's this list located?
It is on. Somebody tell them where it's located.
On the toolkit.
EXPRealty.com/growth. Click on Toolkit, and it's on the towards the bottom. Yep, where it says Resource in the Resources section. Love it. All right. So you see here, you've got. So you're going to indicate what their deal count is compared to you. You are going to indicate. This is important. Again, when will you contact this person by? When will you contact this person by? And again, your accountability partner is helping to hold you accountable and responsible for this, right? So make it even bigger. Is that better? Yeah, that's better, right? So when will you contact the person? And then when did you last contact them? Again, accountability is everything. And then finally, notes. What did you talk about the last time you contacted them? This is as simple as a CRM that it possibly could ever exist. We want to keep it simple to lower hard things people don't do. Imagine that, right? Keep it as simple as we can so that you all will actually take action on it and share it with your accountability partner. As many as you want. I don't care. It's not mine. Yeah, so yeah, you just hit the tab or control enter or whatever, to add it. Yep. So there's that. Now, I know some people are thinking, I don't know 50 agents. I don't know 250 agents. Yes, you do. Yeah, yes, you do. And if you can't think of them, we got a memory jogger tool. Right here, memory jogger tool, here or there. So who have you closed a deal with? Right? Like ever. Who have you ever closed? You go through MLS. You look backwards in time. Who have you ever closed a deal with? Right? Not just 24 months, but who have you ever closed a deal with? Put them on the list. Who did you work with at your previous brokerage? Put them on the list. Who did you meet at an event? Right? And by the way, we talk about at an event or a class, CE trainings. By the way, if you are not attending CE trainings in person, you are doing this thing wrong. Okay, never ever again download the CE thing and like click, and take the test tomorrow. Right? I know the temptation. I know. I'm busy too. Right? But I know. But not anymore. Right? When you know better, you do better. That's what my mama told me. Right? You know better, you do better. So what I want you to do now is from now on, you go to the class. Why? Because those are surrounded by agents at other brokerages. You collect business cards and then you follow up like we talked about. I don't know anything about Compass. I don't know anything about Remax. Why did you like it there? What do you love? What do you hate? Right? Have those same conversations. Worst case scenario. Take your CE training live on Zoom. Right? You can do the same thing live on Zoom. Why? You're writing down their names, right? You see their names at the bottom, right? And typically they have their brokers down there sometimes too. Write down the names of all of the class participants and put that in there, okay? So who'd you meet at an event in the class? Top agents at your previous office, coaches and mentors, top teams and brokerages. There's all kinds of agents at your church and community groups and different things that you attend. There would be a lot of agents, as we know, okay? Your title companies, we talked about already. Hey, would you mind introduce me? Who do you know is looking to make a change? Who's the top agent you're working with right now? Hey, I'm expanding my team. Do you know anybody that would be interested? All that kind of stuff. Who are you scared? This is my favorite one. Who are you scared to call? Who is it that you think would never ever be interested in EXP? Who is it that would break your heart if they joined EXP and you didn't call them? Put that person on the list. Right? Put that person on the list and talk to your sponsor or me. I promise you, I'm not scared to talk. Listen, I just brought on, and again, I'm not being my chest. It's not like, I don't want to come across like that. But here's the deal. Last week, and it's on social media. So like 2 weeks ago, I was in California onboarding a $1 billion team. Yeah. Well, yeah. Heller just came over. That's another one, right? They're the bar of fear of talking about or joining EXP has been completely lower. We just brought on the former CEO of Keller Williams, right? Yeah, right? Like last week, right? And then, like I talked about 2 weeks ago, man, I was in California onboarding $1 billion luxury team in California, in the Bay, right? So they did 100 agents, $1 billion. They don't touch anything under 2 million, right? They could not wait to get to EXP, right? So I'm telling you, all that fear is in your head. Whoever you're scared to call, you're only scared because it's in your head. I promise you, the sharper business people are the most excited about EXP. Trust me. All right. So property managers, commercial agents. Who do you know that is land and ranch? Luxury agents. I love this. What agents do you know in other markets? And more specifically, who do you know in other markets? This is the beauty of EXP, and this is part of one of the most undertapped resource at EXP, the most underutilized prospecting opportunity at EXP. Who do you know in all 50 states and 27 countries that we operate in? Who do you know? Whether they have a real estate license or not. Who do you know in Ohio and in New Mexico and in Iowa and wherever, right? Why do I say who do you know whether they have a license or not? Because we're talking statistics again. So although your aunt in Ohio may not, or in Arkansas, your aunt in Arkansas, she doesn't have a real estate license. But, Lord willing, she lives in a place with 4 walls and a roof. Does your aunt, do all your aunts and uncles live in a place with 4 walls and a roof? Yes, they all do, right? Statistically, who sold them that place with 4 walls and a roof? An agent. 87%, right? 87% of the time that was sold to them by an agent. So is there a thing in the world wrong with calling your Aunt Sue in Arkansas and say, hey, Aunt Sue, listen, we are actually expanding our brokerage in Arkansas. Would you mind introducing me to the agent that sold you your house? Because I'm looking at expanding my brokerage into Arkansas. Right? Huge undertapped resource. You know people all over. And the beauty of EXP is that you have an international business from day one. Every one of you has an international business. All over the country and internationally in 27 countries. So who do you know in those areas? Call them and say, who sold you your house, Uncle John? Love it. Is that impactful? Yes. Love it. Take advantage. Who sold houses, as we talked about? Who sold houses to your family members? Your doctor, your lawyer, your accountant, your neighbors, right? Your past clients before they became your clients. Your hairstylist, right? Whoever you know typically lives in a place with 4 walls and a roof, and that place was sold to them by an agent. Ask that person to introduce you to that agent that sold them their house. And ask that person the same script, the same dialogue, the same frameworks we were talking about, okay? Ask them if they're open-minded. Ask them if they've hit their max potential, right? All the things we've discussed. All right. Is that helpful? Yes. In terms of building your list. Okay, so that's how we build our list. We also have our wealth chart. Raise your hand if you've seen this before. A lot of top producers. Okay, so I won't spend too much time on this. Just to say that, again, this is a tool that is used by the majority of our top producers. That's why you saw so many hands go up. Okay, this is, and we've kind of tweaked this. We've updated a little bit, put a corporate spin on it as well to sort of scale. That said, Value Vault. Okay. As we talked about the Value Vault and where you get all that stuff that you're sharing with folks, these are folks that you need to share the value with. Whatever that person deems as valuable, you want to be sharing something with the people on this list. Now, who goes on this list of 30? Remember, you got folks on that spreadsheet that you wrote down, 50 to 250 names. You're going to transfer about 30 of them to this list. And then those are the people, by the way, you're printing this off at FedEx. For those of you that don't know, send this to FedEx, get this printed off, laminated, stick it up on your office. Then it's laminated, so you just write with your little white erase marker the names of individuals that you're working on that you need to share the value with, whatever that person deems as value. Then you're working hot. Your working hot are going to be people that have seen the model, they've seen the value, you've shared value with them, and they express interest in continuing the conversation. Okay, they've expressed interest in continuing the conversation to go forward. So these are going to be your working hot list. Now these folks, you can't see that, but it'll be on the one you print up. These people get a monthly value-based text from you. A monthly value-based text from you. Where do you get the value-based text? Somebody tell me. Not really, no. The university website. I like the way you think, though. I like the way you think. Leverage. So I love it. Yeah, yes, there you go. So yes, absolutely. And in process, So in process, these are folks that have actually filled out their join application. They've applied to join EXP, and you're able to, with these folks, you want to send them a weekly check-in just to see how they're doing. Remember, again, a lot of people drop the ball. They think the sponsorship ends once they fill out the join application. Don't be that one. I promise you, your retention will go through the roof if you maintain contact for the first week at least. The first week, reach out to people that have just joined every single day. That first week, every single day, right? Hey, how's it going? What's going on? Do you need anything? How can I help? Oh, let me give you this resource. Raise your hand if you had an incredibly beautiful and smooth onboarding experience with EXC. I'm going to... All right, so we all know that onboarding is a challenge, right? Is that fair, right? And by the way, to be fair for anybody, right? And Glenn will be the first one to tell you, there is no company right now in Texas. We're onboarding 60 to 80 agents every single week. Okay, like every single week, 60 to 80 agents. So like it is unwieldy, right? It is almost impossible to scale that and to have operational excellence, but we're as close as you can get, right? That said, we still have hiccups. We still have bumps in the road with onboarding. We know that. We hear that. We're working on that. It's a billion times better. Who's been here more than 7 years? How was onboarding back then? 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? It sucked, right? So exactly. So it has come miles beyond, and we're still working on it, okay? Glenn is the first one to tell you, like, hey, man, I never anticipated this thing, like, growing as big and as fast. There is no system that you can put in place when you have 100 agents that'll support 1,000 agents. Then when you get to 1,000, you got to find a system that can do 1,000, but then we grew so quickly to 10,000 and 20,000 and 50,000, like it's impossible. So that said, remember, your prospects are there for you. You know way more, infinitely more than they do coming in the front door. So you want to be in communication and contact with your prospect the whole week, their first week, and seeing who you can connect them to, the onboarding concierge. Y'all know we have a 24/7 hotline, right? Everybody knows we have a 24/7 hotline? Great. So you should be giving them that number for onboard. Well, for everything. 34-second response time, by the way, to speak to a live agent on that line. Okay, so keep that in mind. But contact your folks every single day, and then weekly after that, right? While they're in the join process. Moving forward, you move folks over to here. These are your FLQAs, or your frontline qualifying associates, meaning that they've earned $5,000 in commission in the last 6 months. These folks are going to receive a monthly value-based text from you and celebrate milestones with them, right? Celebrate milestones with them and reach out to them on a monthly basis with something value-based, which again, you can get from the university, right? And we talked about already, everyone has the MyEXP app on their phone. Your MyEXP app, I don't think we've launched it yet. We're about to launch in the MyEXP app milestone alerts. So when someone in your organization closes their first deal, when someone in your organization caps, when they hit icon, when they have their anniversary, when they have a birthday, things like that are milestones, we're going to give you an alert so that you can reach out to them. And we'll be able to send them a gift, like push of a button, boom, send them something, right? So that's where we're headed with this. That's why it's important to have your MyEXP app downloaded on your phone. But in the meantime, y'all like that, good. At least she does. She wants to take care of her downline. I love it. In the meantime, send them value-based text every single month that you can get from university and share with them, or masterminds, or what have you, okay? So those are your FLQAs, and then we have emerging. So these are agents that are still emerging. Maybe we used to call these FLAs, but these are agents that are here, but they're not productive, okay? Get them into FastCap. What do we talk about? FastCap is a production machine. Agents go in with 0, and they come out with 4 deals, 3.8, right? 3.8 deals on average if you just do what we told you to do in FastCap. Minimum effort. You come out with 4 signed contracts on average. So, and most folks ain't average. So that said, well, I guess most folks are average. That's what I call the average. You get the point. So FastCap, right? Get them into FastCap. Otherwise, share something value-based with them that you think is going to help, that you think is going to impact their business. Hey, I was thinking about you, and I saw this resource on lead generation, wanted to share it with you. Hope everything's well. Don't overthink this stuff, guys. Don't overthink it. Send them something of value that you pull from university. I promise, Brian has done all the overthinking that you ever need to do. You don't need to think about it. You just need to send the resource. And then from there, again, we have the rev share calculator, but we also have this tool that will allow you to sort of plan your freedom numbers, plan out what success will look like for you if you attract X number of agents, okay? So again, where do you get this resource? It is on the toolkit, all right? And then finally, When I say share something of value, I even made scripts for you guys. We even made scripts. So as we look through, so these are just copy and paste. If you don't want to go to actually when I made this, the EXP University website as it is now didn't exist. Okay, so I actually went in. I found a bunch of things that you can share based on the top in-demand things like AI, like lead generation, KGCI, success stories, so on. I actually went in and I copied and pasted all those things in a quick list for you to be able to copy and paste in your monthly and weekly messages to your folks that you're working with, okay, or potential business partners. Social media playbooks for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Again, university has all this stuff. These are mostly YouTube links and podcast links for KGCI. But I also gave you the scripts, okay? You literally can copy and paste the script. Hey, Johnny, I wanted to share this resource with you on lead generation. It's been a great tool for me, and I thought that you could add some value to your business as well. Boom, drop the link. Literally, copy and paste, drop the link. Is that helpful? Like, I mean, again, I made this for myself because, again, I have brain damage, but y'all can take advantage of my brain damage. And like you just said, I made it as simple as it can be, right? You copy and paste it. Right, so it depends. Well, my wife, you can ask my wife; she's over there. She'll testify to my brain damage, I'm sure. That said, these are the tools. These are the resources that we have in place for you. Also, we talked about the events. So this you can get here from the university page as well. Is this still working? Yeah. Oh no, it's not. Okay, yeah, it is. So this is the live events calendar. Okay, so every single live event you can get here from the university page too, but every single live event that we have, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person as a corporate team, or you can submit your own events. If you're planning an event, where's it at? Down at the bottom? If you're planning your own event, you can submit it here, planning an event, and we will help promote your event for you on this page. Oh yeah, sweet, yeah, we do that. So absolutely, go here. Excuse me. Tell us that you're having an event. We'll help promote it on there, and everyone can see it, so that when you have a prospect down in Austin, you can send them over to the event because we're posting it for them, right? So, and with co-sponsorship, are you freaking kidding me, guys? Come on. So this is incredible. Again, all of the tools and resources that we have at EXP that most folks didn't know about, but you do know because you were here. All right. I think that's it. I think I'm done. What? What question do we have? I'll hang around and answer questions. What you got? Yes. So, I mean, I think that's a great point. Anything that we build. Oh, I'll repeat the question. He wants to know if Showami. Everybody familiar with what Showami is? Showami. So Showami is like a home showing service, if you will. So like kind of like a Uber-ish. So you have a real estate license. You go in and say, hey, I'll show houses for $20 a pop or whatever it is. You can have an agent go show a house for you. If you're out of town or even if you don't feel like showing that client for whatever reason, you can send someone else to go show that client. He was asking if EXP's ever thought about coming up with a EXP specific one. I mean, I don't know. I think Leo is pretty concerned right now on just helping our agents sell more houses. You know what I mean? Like, it's that identity crisis thing. We're not having identity crisis. We don't think we're a tech company. We don't think we're a CRM company. We don't think we're a showing company, right? We're a real estate brokerage, and our job is to help you sell more houses, period. So that's kind of the framework that EXP looks at. So, all right, was this valuable, y'all? Yeah. All right, thank you all so much. I hope you got some value. Wait, before you all run. So I have one other thing here. Let's see, where's it at? We got our action plan. We got that done. So everybody, take out your phones, if you would. Be so kind. We're going to ask you to do two things. First thing, take out your My EXP app. Everybody got your My EXP app? Even you, the pretty one in the front. My EXP app. She's an EXP agent too. Yeah. And my daughter. Yeah. They wanted to join KW, but, you know. All right. So everyone got their My EXP app. Okay. If you scroll down to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, do you see where it says a survey down there? Take a survey. Click on that. By the way, our CEO, incredible CEO Leo Pareja, reads these every single day, every morning with a cup of coffee, right? And to get going for the day. He reads these personally. So when you want to reach out, you can always do that. That said, go and click on that, and then you should be able to leave a survey. I'm not telling you what to write, but if I was in your shoes, I'd say Tony King is the most incredible, handsome, charismatic, amazing instructor and executive at this company. I don't know how much you're paying him, Leo, but you should double it. That's what I would say if I was in your shoes. But you can put whatever you want as long as it's nice. Put that in there if you would not mind. And then when you're done with that, I just got one more thing. I'm going to give you my deal here. Present mode. What do you need?
I'm gonna take a picture of your QR code.
Okay, yeah, no, I got you right here. So this is present. So once you've done that, if you're not following me on social media, please follow me on, not because I need the followers, but like all this stuff, I do need the followers. But but how much of this stuff that I talked about today that you did not know about? Right? There's so much that I talked about that you did not know about. Right. I'm constantly on my social media talking about all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the stuff that you may have missed out on because you're out busy selling houses and being amazing and doing the cool stuff that you're out doing, but you miss it, right? So if you follow me on social media, that's another place that you have that you can get information on what's happening at EXP, right? And I'll drop all kinds of resources and tools. By the way, we had a mastermind the other week with John Maxwell. I put that on there. That was cool. All kinds of cool stuff. John Maxwell. Like, who gets John Maxwell? Come on now. And then finally, so I have my the framework that I use for the presentation today. That is my mind map. Okay, I'm giving you my mind map. If you want it, drop that in. You can scan this QR code and you get my mind map. Hit me on Workplace or the Cool Kids are on Slack. Hit me on Slack and then I will get it to you. Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah. We'll see. I know because you're cool. That's because you're cool. Yeah. All right. Everybody got it? All right. And again, if you didn't get it, go here and ask for it. And by I mean Maggie, my social media manager, will make sure that you get it. Other than that, go out, be amazing. Remember, I'm here. I've got your back. Anything I can do to help you grow, I'm more than happy to do that, right? Put me on a call. Help me. I can close your prospect. Bring them to me. You set them up, I'll knock them down. I promise. That's what Leo pays me to do. So, y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks, y'all.